it's not nostalgia. Old Pokemon was better. By Harbo Holmes? A very, very bold claim. But gamers, take your bets. Is it going to be an actual analysis of Pokemon then and Pokemon now, which could be interesting? Or is it going to be, I played guess the Gen game. Is it going to be Gen 1, 2, or 3? I'm gonna guess it'll be 2. I'm gonna guess at 2. I played Gen 2 as a kid, and my father, I have so many nostalgic stories, blah, modern Pokemon L. It's just gonna be that. Gen 2 or 3, you're guessing Gen 1, Gen 4, you think? Let's hear how he sounds. Hang on, how does he sound?
And before this video begins,
There's definitely either Gen 1, 2, or 3. Definitely not Gen 4. I think Gen 4 is too late. It'll be 1, 2, or 3. I'm gonna guess 2. I'm still gonna stick with 2. I'm gonna guess. You think it's 3? Gen 3, 2 or 3 for sure. I don't think he's old enough for a 1. I'm a 1. I'm a 1 guy. Has to be 3. I'm guessing 4 and 2. All right, let's find out, gamers. Let's find out what Mr. Harbo. I'm guessing 4. That's bold, Ozzy. That's bold. Let's find out.
I'd just like to give an extra special thank you to my Asbantium level page.
Oh, gamers, we know this video is gonna be fucking diabolical, guys. You know what's gonna happen now. You know the rules, gamers. You know the rules. If they have a patron, the video's gonna be dog shit. You guys know the rules. You guys know the rules, all right?
Patrons Chris Douglas and Fallon Cortez. Thank you for supporting the channel. Pokemon. Ever since it burst onto the scene,
Michael Richards style. Let's go. Let's go, gamers. Let's go. Michael Richards, baby.
In 1996,
bursting onto the scene.
This name has become...
Bingo? Has anybody got a bingo card? If anyone's got a bingo card, then we can do bingo.
More famous and at times infamous than any other Japanese export, and even any other big cross-media franchise. It's a simple...
It's very loud. I apologize, chat. Very loud. Very loud.
Premise. Catch monsters, battle them, become the very best. What began as a normal RPG game has become a sprawling media empire with more video games, TV, movies, manga,
classic games,
and
classic.
now more than ever, a trading card game.
New card. What do you think?
If there's a medium, it has Pokemon. I mean, hell, you can't even sleep without Pokemon anymore.
I've been lacking on my Pokemon sleep, chat. I've been lacking. Oh, sorry, I was just testing out this, because I ain't got a soundboard, so I'm trying to test this website, chat. Drink! Yeah, okay. It's got some weird sounds.
Nothing is sacred. As a franchise, Pokemon is bigger than ever. And not necessarily for the best reasons.
Hang on, they got fucking pronouns, chat. Pronouns! They got pronouns, bud.
Sometimes. Because the trading cards have become such a craze and status symbol that people will literally kill over them. So naturally, I play the quick and easy digital Pokemon collecting game, so I don't have to spend any money or cleave a 10-year-old's head in half just to pull a card where Manaphy is bathing in its own piss. But after years away from the franchise, playing Pokemon Pocket has made me think a lot. Between pulling cards of Centaur Palkia and a literal cheese string.
Hey, that's the Hey, show some respect. That's fucking Goldengo. That's fucking Goldengo! Hey! Show some respect. Goldengo's fucking sick. Probably one of my favorite new Pokemon. I fucking love Goldengo.
I had a bit of a realization. What happened to the game I love?
Oh, it's gonna be the fucking video, isn't it? Oh, it's gonna be so boring. This is gonna be ass masterclass. I hope you're ready. This is gonna be an ass masterclass, man. It's already started. This game is gonna be so good. It's not going to be any nuanced discussion. It's not going to be any critique of modern Pokemon versus classic Pokemon. It's not going to be any interesting critique on what makes modern Pokemon tick or makes old Pokemon better. Or what is in older Pokemon that older Pokemon fan. Is it going to be any sort of... Because if I'm making this video, chat, one of these days I do actually want to make this video, by the way, when I get time, probably way off in the future. I would love to actually make a proper analysis of does modern Pokemon actually suck. And when I mean that, I mean as in what I want to do is, I am looking at Pokemon from the perspective of an older fan playing the newer games. But if the newer games aren't really as shit as all the older fans say, why do they keep selling gangbusters? What is it about modern Pokemon that's still appealing to this day? So I want to do a bit of research. I want to poll the Zoomer younger fans in my audience who started with the new games but went back to play the old. What's the difference? What's the different experiences? Are there like different sensibilities for different sets of fans? That could be an extremely fascinating video. It's not going to be this one though, because guess what? What's the Patreon looking like? Hang on. I'm going to guess it's like a couple hundo. He gets paid $560, email leak, $561 gamers, $561. Can we get $561 a month to sit on his ass and yell pronouns, gender ambiguity?
Why is it that I haven't touched a...
Okay, maybe okay, chat, I want to read it back. I'm going to read it back a little. Maybe I've been a little mean. This could probably be the most interesting video we've ever seen today. And I'm going to have to walk all of that back. He's got 30 minutes. He's got time. Find out.
Mainline Pokemon game in 15 years. Sure, it can't be down to the Pokemon getting goofier because, I mean, the literal first generation had a Pokeball with a face as a Pokemon.
Yeah, true.
And then it evolved into an upside-down Pokeball with a face. Wow, what creative design. But this general unfamiliarity made me think of what Pokemon is to me. It's a world I've known all my life. It was there before I was born, just about, and possibly will still be thriving even after I die, because it's just that eternal. Pokemon is a series that has a magnetic pull to generations of people because it's almost timeless. Much like its titular Pokemon, the franchise is constantly changing and evolving. It will always have an appeal to people at all sorts of ages. But despite Pokemon now being on the verge of its 30th anniversary, I don't think
Last minute guesses, chat. Gen 3 to 4 range seeming more likely. That is true. He did say it was around before his time. So it's not Gen 1. We know it's not Gen 1. So anyone want to change their guesses? I'm still sticking with 2. Still sticking with 2. Actually, no, it can't be 2, actually. He's probably... Okay, so if he said it came out after he was born, that means he's probably born in like 96, 97. Which means... Pokemon, was it? Pokemon Ruby Sapphire came out in 2003, which means... Okay, it's probably Gen 3. It's probably Gen 3. It's actually probably Gen 3. Because I'm assuming he's born like 96, 97. Which means like... Ruby Sapphire came out in 2003. Maybe he got a year later, because he probably didn't get games at launch, because he's a little kid, obviously. So by the time he's like, what, 6? Ruby Sapphire. Gen 3. 100% it's Gen 3 now.
it's the same as it once was. The games were once the centerpiece of this series, the reason it became what it was. But now, the traditional Pokemon games are on the fringes, almost like an afterthought compared to the rampant merchandising machine and vast other media platforms. And I think the truth is, it's not nostalgia, old Pokemon simply was better.
Gamers, are we ready for 28 minutes of ass? I'm ready. Hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, brother. Prove me wrong. Make a good video. Make me eat crow. I'm not convinced though. Make me eat crow. Come on.
I still remember that.
My father. Frame one, gamers. Frame one. My father. My father. My gamers. I remember going to the Argos. It was a cold day, guys. I went to the Argos on Old Street to buy my copy of Pokemon Emerald with my mum.
Christmas morning, all those years ago.
Literally. My Christmas morning.
In 2005.
Oh, it's Emerald. It's Emerald. Gamers is Emerald. Gen 3. Gen 3. If we said Gen 3, we got it right. There's the obligatory little kid picture.
Present for my parents.
One
for my brother and one for me. Inside,
Gen 3.
A Game Boy Advance SP. Mine blue, his red. And
mine was black, mine's better. Emerald!
Along with it, inside a small square box with a fascinatingly strange green monster, Pokemon.
Ozzy, is this your goat? Ozzy, is this your goat? Yeah, again, like, it's not nostalgia. Proceeds to talk about nostalgia. Like, guys, how much you want to bet? Bet me right now, chat. Bet me right now. Like, 20 minutes of this video is going to be like my father. 3 minutes of this video is going to be actual analysis. And then 5 minutes is going to be like Patreon vlogs. It's going to be this, not my goat. No, this is your goat, bro.
Edition. As a 6-year-old boy, I had obviously been caught up in the Pokemon craze, even long after its initial explosion in the 90s. I had some cards, I watched the anime, but with this...
I mean, to be fair, Ozzy, you remember Ozzy waking up 8 in the morning to watch Pokemon Advance, the Advance Saga? Come on now, bro. That was peak.
This little green cartridge, everything changed. Inside such a small screen was a...
Wait, you guys are saying Chris Chan. Where's the Chris Chan? Where was Chris Chan? Hang on.
Edition. As a 6-year-old boy, I had obviously been caught up in the Pokemon craze, even long after its initial...
Oh my... Do you think he meant to put Chris Chan in his video? He accidentally... Yeah, that's Christian. I recognize that slouch anywhere. Yeah, Christian is kind of persona non grata now, by the way, Harbo. So you want to be careful in the future, okay?
Explosion in the
I think that's Christian. I'm almost certain that's Christian.
90s. I had some cards, I watched the anime, but with this little green cartridge, everything changed. Inside such a small
Here we go, gamers. Here we go. Are you ready?
screen was a whole world of adventure.
Ozzy, is this Ozzy? This is your goat. Just remember, Ozzy, this is your goat. Okay, this is actually your goat. Okay, 100% your goat. All right, guys. What do we do? Guys, what am I supposed to do? Okay, I guess I'll just kill myself. Honey, don't do that. You're asking me to show an Overwatch. Fuck. You're asking me to show. Fuck. You're asking me to show an Overwatch video to my Bing Bing Woohoo audience, honey. Come on now. I'm not a ruthless businessman, but I know when my viewership is going to drop to 10. Okay.
So many places to explore, people to meet, enemies to outsmart, and master balls to waste on Linoon.
It's almost as if you can do all of that in modern Pokemon. Almost as if you can do that. Okay.
Hey, I only said I had to outsmart the enemies. I never claimed I was smart myself. And in my defense, that Linoon was a real pain to catch. I feel like there's an understanding that you always remember your first Pokemon game. And for me, that's very true. I still haven't forgotten Toby the Sceptile or Money the Swellow, who helped me overcome the Elite Four alongside
Gamers, he had a Swellow, he had a Sceptile, he had a Mightyena, he had what else did he have, Joe? What else did he have? What did he have? He had a Sceptile, Swellow, Mightyena, Ozzy, what else did he have? Ozzy, what else did he have? What was like early Gen 3 Pokemon? We know he has the Linoon. Gardevoir. 100% Gardevoir. Not Ludicolo because he had a Sceptile. Gardevoir. And what was the other one, chat? Mightyena and Linoon, Sceptile, Swellow, Gardevoir. Not Slacking. I don't think most people use Slacking because they see Slack off and then they just give up. He sucks. What's like the other basic bitch Gen 5, Gen 3 Pokemon? Torkoal? Maybe a Torkoal? It's got to be like a more basic Pokemon than you know what I mean? Aggron. I'm thinking Aggron. Aggron's a good... Manectric's another good one. Wing. Oh, Pelipper, you think? Pelipper? Shit. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe one of those. It's either, yeah, Breloom, Pelipper, Manectric, or... Yeah, one of those, definitely. Hariyama's another good shout as well.
that Linoon. My tank Golem.
Oh, Golem. He did have Ludicolo. Fuck, who said Ludicolo? Minister Chicken, you win. He said Ludicolo.
Ludicolo, and lastly, Blaziken. Courtesy of a brother and a cousin, both
Oh, you had two starters? Fuck it.
older than me, who knew you could just manipulate the save system at the start of the game or just get eggs and trade the other two starters before you just have all three. When you're that young, it helps to know people a bit older that actually know what they're doing. Pokemon Emerald is the perfect Pokemon game.
No, it isn't. It was your first Pokemon game. Guys, £500 a month. 500! I'm telling you, man, it's the patrons, gamers. It's the patrons.
It takes everything Game Freak learned from Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, and Crystal, and refines it into the ideal experience.
Yeah? Hey, moron! What's Fire Punch? Is Fire Punch a special move or a physical move? Wrong answer. It's a special move. Because all types were declared one type of thing. The physical special split didn't happen. What game of yours can you call perfect when I can use Ice Punch and it's not a physical move? What game is perfect when I can use Shadow Ball, a projectile, and it's a physical move? It's a physical move, gamer. Shadow Ball. Do you know the move where you go physical? Physical move, gamers. Physical move. Yeah, physical gamers, let's get physical.
Let's just look at the Hoenn region.
Way too much water, brother. Whoa, look at all this water. I hope there's something interesting in the water. What the fuck do you mean there's just a bunch of stupid shards? And admittedly a pretty cool Reggie puzzle. But what do you mean it's just a bunch of stupid shards and fucking tentacles? What do you mean?
Alone. Kanto and Johto are pretty limited in scope, due to the obvious technical limitations of the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. The former console only had an 8-bit processor. Then the Game Boy
Gamers, all the 32 bits, 16 bits, 8 bits, 4 bits, 2 bits, 1 bit, half bit, quarter bit, 1 bit, the rich game!
Advance came along with 32 bits. That's so many bits. So naturally, Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald show a significant upgrade in size, fidelity, and mechanical depth because they can do so much more.
Yeah, but like, Gen 2 had 16 badges though. Yeah, you owned liberal.
The movement is buttery smooth, the colours
No, he's making shit up. What do you mean, buttery smooth? Have you tried using a mark bike? Like, ever? Actually, you'll have you crashing into walls every 2 seconds. That bike is unusable unless you're hatching eggs. What are you talking about? This is making shit up. Hey, the color palette? I'll give you the color palette. The color palette looks lovely. I love the 16-bit style of color palette. It actually looks amazing. You're right. Buttery smooth? Broski, it's on a grid. How could they fuck that up?
just really pop, and as a map, it feels huge. And no, I don't mean huge in the sense that 8-year-old me thought the trip from Lumbridge to Wizard Tower was long and treacherous. No, Hoenn is actually so expansive and a genuinely diverse country.
How much of it is water again? Like 60% of it? Crazy.
Start off in your typical quaint village of Littleroot. Old Dale Town is...
Yeah, guys, this is the bit where you could literally just copy-paste any Pokemon game. Explore the little town of Twinleaf Town, and then you can explore Sandgem Town.
much the same. Petalburg City is...
And then Jubilife City is where you get the Poke... Literally, like, this is 500 quid a month. I'm sorry if I'm being a bit too mean, right? But, like, you're a decently sizable channel, right? You've been making video essays for a while, right? I get it, all right? Pokemon must be an important game to you, right? If you're gonna make a title that insane, you gotta back that shit up, brother. You gotta back that shit up. It's not... You gotta back that shit up. Like your life is counting on it. Do you know what I'm saying? You gotta make it rain, brother, with decent points. Do you know what I mean? Like you are selling snake oil, brother, and you gotta sell it to me like I'm the most dopiest person on planet Earth.
Too much water.
Yeah, Maxi was correct. Team Magma was actually right. Team Magma did nothing wrong. So then I'm just like, what are we doing here? He's literally fallen for like the level 0 trap of it was my first Pokemon game, therefore. I thought we were above this discourse, chat. I thought we're above this. And literally, this is like, do you know the thing I hate about video essays, chat, where it's just like, it's all just fluff, filler, slop? Like, I know video essays tend to have that rep. This is literally it. I don't think he said anything of substance yet. It's been 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, you gave us a cool intro. Pokemon is the massive fan. Yeah, everyone knows Pokemon's a massive fan. Nostalgic score. Okay, fair enough, cute enough, whatever. Now you're going through the towns and cities like there's anything unique to them. What makes these unique over every other town and city? Is there something about the quaint style of this one that isn't realized in other towns and cities? Why is that? What makes it specifically Gen 3 better than all the rest? That's your overall thesis. Remember, it was better. That's what you're trying to get at. So what makes Odale different from Sandgem, different from Accumula, different from Flockacy Ranch? What makes him different? This could be an interesting video. But guess what? You don't have to make that video because you're getting paid regardless.
It's a
Unbelievable.
nice, picturesque settlement, but these 3 locations are the most basic in what is classic Pokemon game design. You start off small and simple, humble origins, but then you get to Rustboro City and that all changes.
Yeah.
This city is equivalent.
And then you get to Jubilife City and I could literally make this exact same video, but just replace Gen 3 with Gen 4. Come on, broski. What are you doing here, man? If you're going to talk about nostalgia, you don't like again, and also, the video kind of fails you. It's not nostalgia. Old Pokemon was better. This whole video so far has just been nostalgia, little bro. Get into, like, the meat and potatoes. Come on, man, you know? The modest video. I promise, chat, one of these days I will make a good retrospective. Because that's genuinely, like, my dream video. Because, like, yeah, isn't it really fascinating, chat? Isn't it really fascinating that old Pokemon fans will say modern Pokemon sucks, old Pokemon's better. And yet modern Pokemon still sells, even more than the classic era. Why is that? What is it about these games that still appeals to the Zoomers? And I've got a perfect Discord server for this whole thing. I think a lot of the Pokemon fans in the Discord came around, what, Gen 5, 6, 7, 8? So I have the perfect team of researchers. Like, one of these days, chat, I'm going to make a call out to the Pokemon and be like, hey, if you're a Zuma Pokemon fan that's played some of the older games, what are your thoughts on the newer games? Which gen did you start with? What did you think of the older games? So I can, like, build some research, I can get some points going, and then we can, like, talk about it. So, hey, listen, this is my call out to you, chat. If you're a newer Pokemon fan, you started, what, Gen 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Play an older one, and just, like, log your thoughts and DM it to me. Or like, at me in the Discord, and I'll put it in, like, a logbook to save for later. One of these days, I'm going to make that video. It probably won't be soon, I'll be honest. Work as a bitch. But I do want to make that video someday. Because I think it could be interesting to explore. This guy's obviously not gonna. He's just fucking... My father, shut up, man. Honestly. Fucking honestly, get out of here, man.
Equivalent to Saffron City, and it's the first gym you even go to. A huge statement of intent. What follows is Dewford Town, a small waterfront settlement. Slateport City,
and then we go to Canalave, a small water settlement, huh?
Huge port city with a...
And then we go to Slateport. And then we go to, what's the equivalent? And then we go to the fucking Fuego Ironworks, a huge iron mill, like
Rolling Beach, a prime holiday destination. And the best part is, you're essentially stuck here, without being able to just surf back to Dewford, because you don't have surf yet.
No, you're not. And then to top it off, he's just objectively lying. No, dipshit, you can always talk to Mr. Brainy. He'll take you back until you get the 5th badge. Now he's just lying. Now he's just lying! This is a lie! Unbelievable. Honestly. It's not only is this just nostalgia. This is poorly made. He's just lying.
The early game of Hoenn forces you to move in a linear direction.
I get that the idea is the less powerful hardware leads more to the imagination, but hang on. Hey, Matthew, hey, can you write this guy's video for him? Hey, Matthew, could you do me a favor? Write this guy's video for him, please? Hey, this would be an interesting point to bring up. If I was going to make that Pokemon retrospective, this is probably one of the, spoiler alert, this is probably one of the points I'm going to bring up. This is actually probably one of my strongest arguments. One of the things I actually love about the older Pokemon games, and just older gaming as a whole, is that because the graphical fidelity was so much less, it left so much to the imagination. And there's something so wondrous about, like, the imagination of children and how it can run wild. It's so much fun. And I think that's probably one of the things that I dislike about modern Pokemon. I leave so little to the imagination. They're so intent of holding a hand. So for someone like me who grew up in the era where, like, literally, I'd go up to my mum and I'd say I'm bored. And do you know what my mum would say? Ozzy, what did Hoya used to say all the time? Bored people get bored. And do you know what? And you know what that meant? That was basically the sign for my mum's not going to entertain me. I'm not allowed to sit down and watch TV because my mum's watching TV. I have to go fucking do something on my time. Do you know what I mean? And, like, that's when your imagination will run, you create stuff, you find fun games to do. And that's what these old games would sort of, like, entail. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to get a Zoomer's take on older Pokemon games and what do they think of, like, the graphical style. Like, does the same thing translate? Like, is it possible to, like, use that same childlike imagination from someone who grew up in an era where essentially that was kind of, I won't say robbed, but that's a bit of a loaded term, but it was kind of made apparent for you? And then go back to that, does it still translate? Does it, you know what I mean? Hey, one interesting video that could be, right? One that's not going to be made here. Amazing.
Direction, of which you can then open up significant shortcuts like Rust Turf Tunnel, or being able to surf between Oldale and Moorville, or using the cable car. It's not like you finish one location and just move on to the next. You're constantly travelling new routes to familiar places, ready to take on new challenges, like your own father as a gym leader in the middle of the game. Despite his gym being the very first you come across literally, not the first you can battle in, but the first you walk past. Hoenn is a genuine odyssey. By unlocking all these alternate routes, it immerses you all the more. Kanto and Johto staples like forests and caves give...
I will say though, I mean, in all fairness, I do think one of the best parts about older Pokemon games was that you could explore older areas because of HMs. Like, it was one of the advantages of older gens, right? Because of HMs, right? They could make an area HM exclusive, and then you have to come back and explore it later. It's generally one of those things where I think is kind of missing from modern Pokemon. And yeah, I'd put that again if I was making a what makes classic Pokemon tick and what does new, but yeah, that'd probably be one of my points for classic Pokemon HMs. Yeah, I think overall they're like them being omitted is probably a good thing. But like, yeah, it leaves much less to the imagination in terms of game design, which is really sad. You know, I think that's part of the reason why I fell off X and Y onwards. The world seem more realized, but then it gives less flexibility to make your own fun out of them. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's one of my problems with modern Pokemon as well, actually.
Way to more elaborate setting, like a volcano surrounded by 3 distinct towns, all bearing the hallmarks of such settlements, like hot springs or ashen grass that turns green when you walk through it. See that? See that level of detail? A good Pokemon
Ozzy, you see that level? Hey, Ozzy, this is your guy.
game isn't just about having a big map. It's about that map feeling twice the size because of the detail within. Moorville, the bustling electrical city, gives way to Fortree, a magnificent treetop city in the jungle. And contrast.
I mean, in all fairness, I will give him this. Like, Fortree and Sutopolis are one of my favorite cities design-wise. I kind of like them. Fortree is probably like the coolest like town/city in like the entire fucking series. I fucking love Fortree. And Sutopolis just looks kind of weird. I fucking like it. I like how you have to like dive to get in here. It's weird. I like it.
Contrasting that are places like Sutopolis, nestled within a cavernous white crater, and Pacificlog Town, built entirely on planks in the ocean. Each location is so interesting and distinct. And that's before you even factor in the non-settlement locations, like a whole desert, that aforementioned volcano, and a whole mountain graveyard. Or the long stretches of routes featuring things like the Weather Institute and the abandoned ship. It's not just about...
Someone said this is like one of those like video essays where they just like recap the plot. This is literally like every bad video essay in one chat. This is actually unbelievable, man. Like, what's like the memes when it comes to video essays chat? Bloviating dialogue, recapping of plot. This is why this is why video essays have a bad rap. I don't think you've made like... Probably the best point you've made is like, yeah, some of the cities are really creatively designed, which I agree with. Like, you didn't even like make that point. Like, you just keep naming cities, and I had to make the point for you. Good lord, man.
Going from town to town.
Remember, old Pokemon was better. Hey, what does this game do that new Pokemon doesn't? Can you explain that to us?
Gym leaders anymore. You're genuinely going on the kind of adventure the anime promised years before.
So what makes this different from other Pokemon games where you essentially do the same thing? Yeah, you do the same thing in Gen 4 as well. It feels like an adventure. Hey, Gen 5, it feels like an adventure. Gen 6, it feels like an adventure. Shit adventure, but an adventure nonetheless.
Side content is incredible. You can grow berries.
Wow, you can grow
secret bases.
Secret bases were pretty cool though, I'll give them that.
As a cool little hidey hole to hang out in.
It was your cool little hidey hole to hang out in. I f***ing hate that line.
Make Pokeblocks with...
You streamed yourself fucking... What was that?
Friends?
It was your cool little hidey hole to hang out in. I f***ing hate that line.
I don't know, why'd you write it, I guess? I don't know.
Make Pokeblocks with friends, compete in contests, battle the Trick House, and the Winstraight family, whose golden boy Vito eventually shows up in Victory Road at the end of the game, and is actually one of the only Victory Road trainers capable of beating the Elite Four. Again, that is fantastic world building.
I do kind of like that. I think we definitely need more Vitos in the game. I think Vito was a nice bit of lore building. I kind of like that. Because, yeah, like you literally challenge the Winstraights and they're like, oh, the brother would totally beat you, and then later in the Victory Road you meet him. That's actually pretty cool. I actually really like that. What other than what? Like Trick House was pretty good. No one's playing contest, little bro. Let's be real. Oh man.
And one of my favourite things about Hoenn is how you can get calls from trainers and gym leaders you've already beaten, and they'll challenge you again. With better teams, more Pokemon in their teams, some of whom aren't even native to Hoenn.
Gen 4 also does this. BDSP also does this. What makes this one better than the rest? Can you elaborate on that, Mr. Harbour?
It creates this genuine
Of course he's not gonna. Of course not. Okay.
feeling of progression and development as you progress.
Is that any different from any other Pokemon game? Can we get to the thesis of your video, please? Yeah, like I don't doubt, but like, can you explain? Can you explain what makes this different from the rest?
Roxanne goes from an entry-level trio of 2 level 12 Geodudes and a level 15 Nosepass to a full 6 Pokemon team of Aerodactyl, Omastar, Kabutops, Steelix, and her Nosepass is now level 52, whilst her Geodude has become a Golem.
What makes this different from Brock and HGSS, for example? Can you maybe explain that?
All these Pokemon make perfect sense for Roxanne to acquire.
Yeah, so does Brock has an Omastar and a Kabutops as well. What's different? What's different to Brock having a Kabutops? What's different? Can you explain, Harbour?
Since they still match her rock-based speciality, and her gym is literally across the road from Devoncourt.
Yeah, Brock's gym is right next to the Pewter Museum. What makes this different? Unreal.
who resurrect the very fossils she clearly came into possession of.
Yeah, I mean, Brock probably did that at Cinnabar Island.
Much like Fire Red and Leaf Green with the Sevi Islands specifically, the region changes slightly as you progress and go on.
I mean, SV lets you go to Area 0 when you beat the game. It's forbidden to any outsiders, which is kind of cool.
Rewarding you for returning to characters and locations to get rewards or new locations and lore about this incredible region.
Gen 4 does this with the fight zone. What makes this different from the fight zone in Gen 4?
Hoenn feels
Not going to explain. Okay.
like a proper, living, breathing world.
No, it doesn't. Or if it does, what makes this different from any other gen?
And the story helps with that significantly.
What story?
The stories of Kanto and Johto.
Like, I mean, we're not going to glaze the story, are we? In Gen 3? Like, are we unironic? I mean, Maxi and Archie are kind of cool as villains. Like, their concept as villains are kind of cool, but like, they're kind of just dumbasses. They go, oh, we're gonna flood the world or drain the land. Awakens the legendary Pokemon. Oh, we've made a mistake. Makes the Pokemon sleep again. I guess we made a mistake. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the whole plot of Gen 3. Like, I don't think a single Pokemon story is cinema writing, but like, literally even Gen 4 is better. Like, what are we? Yeah, fucking Sun. Guys, I hope you Gen 7 Andys are like enjoying this moment, gamers. Because Gen 7 is much better. And even, I don't even particularly like Gen 7's story. I don't really like Lily that much. But Lily single-handedly mogs everyone in this fucking generation. For like a country mile. Lily and Lusamine and Guzma like absolutely wreck this game to like shreds. Like, are you joking me, brother? What are we talking about?
So we're pretty straightforward. But with the extra space and the abilities of the
Guzma single-handedly destroys this game, broski. He's like one of the most interesting characters they've ever made. Volo? Fucking Nimona? Professor Sada or Toro? Looker? Arvin? Zinzolin? N? Green, that one old guy who died in X and Y? Unironically. Gets this? Even Chorus. I even give it to Chorus. I don't think he's that interesting. I'd give it to Chorus. Oh, hang on. Better yet, chat, we don't even need to see any of these people. Oras. That's all I have to say. Oras. Yeah, that game characterized these same characters way better. Literally. It's one of the few good points I give for Oras. They actually made the story decently better. Not still Gen 3 story. It's not that crazy, but it made like Wally's way better in Oras. Maxi and Archie are way better in Oras. The Delta episode, like what are we? Brawly just like even the designs like even Brawly's design looks better. Fucking who else? There's a bunch of characters that had like cool redesigns. Like Wallace, I think looks way cooler. Steven like doesn't look too much different, but I just like his new design better. Oh, you're killing me. Hitting me. But you don't get it Oras bad because no battles facility and too easy. Me, but unironically.
GBA, Hoenn can be more complex story-wise too. You find yourself embroiled within the clash of two eco-terrorist factions, Team Aqua and Team Magma, who each want to awaken ancient beasts to shape the world in the way they wish. It's not exactly Breaking Bad complexity, but it's more than enough to give you extra reason to want to progress through this vast and imaginative region, and a great way of incorporating the legendary Pokemon, rather than them just hanging out in caves.
Don't get me wrong, I mean, it was good for what it was, but like, take this from someone who plays Gen 3 sometimes, replays that game. I'm not playing it for the story. I'm not playing Emerald for the story. Okay.
No, these guys are hibernating in caves, and waking them up brings about the end of the world. And you can't even do anything about it. You have to go and get a giant green dragon to go and sort out his bickering little bros because he just wants to sleep. After you have activated...
Does anything interesting happen with that? Do you have to like maybe battle Rayquaza to get him to wake up? Do you have to like solve the riddles 3? Is there any like story arc? Do you have to learn about the legendary dragon's lore? No, all of those things were like in Oras. Because Oras did this better. Even though I don't think Oras has anything to write home about. Oras literally did what you're praising Gen 3 for way better. 10 minutes in, by the way, guys. 10 minutes in.
Kyogre and Groudon, the weather across the whole map changes, and it's chaotic, with NPCs acknowledging the chaos, until you go and get Rayquaza to fix everything.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
With NPCs acknowledging the chaos, until you go and get Rayquaza to...
Can you give me that again, please? One more time, please? One more time?
He's acknowledging the chaos, until you go and get Rayquaza to...
Legit never heard that pronunciation before, but sure.
Story than Gen 3 because its lore is cooler emo at any rate. The story doesn't exist, but I like the events across the journey.
Yeah, I would even say, yeah, I'd literally even say GSC probably has, I would say, has a cooler like region because like Johto's like really old timey in Japan, therefore. I think the lore is just way more interesting that one too, instead of Gen 3, but yeah, whatever. Check the video date. This is recent, guys. This is not old. It's recent. I'm going to finish that Rayquaza.
To fix everything. And then, sure, you can go and catch Rayquaza before the Elite Four.
Jesus Christ, he's going to keep pronouncing it like that, isn't he?
But you can't get all 3 until you've already beaten the group. So rocking back up with the full trio is more like a victory lap than a quick route to success. The progression of Emerald is very steady and fair. Not because the Elite Four are especially difficult, but because in Emerald, the Elite Four is far from the end of the story. Once they're done, you have Latias or Latios to catch, the aforementioned capture of the main 2 legendaries, you get the national decks allowing you to trade with other Gen 3 games outside of Hoenn, you can take on Trainer Hill, the final boss of the game Steven Stone, and, of course, the Battle Frontier.
You can happily keep all that. You know what I get to do in my post-game, Harbo? I get to go to Area 0. In one of the coolest sequences in any Pokemon game. You know what I get to do when I beat Black 2, White 2? I get to go to End's Fallen Castle and Steam again. Yeah. When I beat Sun and Moon, I get to fight Red or Blue, which is actually really fucking cool. I actually really like that fight. When you beat USUM, you get to do Team Rainbow Rocket, which is my favorite bit of post-game. When you beat Black 2, White 2, where do you go? Probably my favorite bit of post-game content ever, the Pokemon World Tournament. You get to do all the extra tournaments of that. So yeah, what makes modern Pokemon worse exactly?
Frankly, I'm still amazed we ever made it through the...
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on ahead a little, guys, because I think this is gonna be still more... Yeah, literally, he's gonna recap the Battle Frontier. Jeez. Okay, oh, hang on, guys! 15 minutes in and we finally get other Pokemon... Oh my god, gamers, oh my god. It took us 14 minutes and we finally see other footage. Holy shit.
There's all sorts of technical console upgrades, more Pokemon added, bigger maps, more immersive camera angles and environments. And sure, Gen 4 is also fantastic. Sinnoh is another wonderful region with great characters and a great usage of the dual screens of the DS, with all sorts of bottom screen shenanigans and tools. There's global trading over Wi-Fi, which is huge. It has a good range of legendaries, the Battle Zone, a bigger and more expansive equivalent of the Frontier from Emerald, although it focuses more on being a sub-region with exploration and story content than a long-term repetitive challenge like the Frontier. There's the Underground, which is a neat idea, albeit not achieving its full potential.
What makes you say that? Are you going to explore that?
There's a day-night cycle.
Nope, not going to explore that. He's just going to say doesn't achieve its full potential and he's going to leave it there. Amazing. Our gamers have just got this nostalgia. Yup.
Which is absolutely huge, and of course Gen 5 has seasons. I only ever played Pearl, I never played Platinum, but Platinum is a hugely advanced version of the game in the same
Would you say that makes you unqualified to make this video then? You haven't even played all of the old Pokemon. Like, is it fair for me to say that, like, if you're going to make a video like this, you have to have played, like, at least most of the important Pokemon games, would you say? I think that's a fair ask, right? I think that's a fair ask. You haven't played Platinum? It's a bit weird.
way Emerald is. It takes all the good from its two Foundation games and throws out the bad. I will glaze Pokemon Generation 3 and Generation 4 until the day I die.
Guys, just imagine, this could have been me, chat. Remember, this could have been me. Hey, I am a Gen 3, I am a chronic Gen 3 to 5 was the golden era of Pokemon. At least I have the self-awareness to go, yeah, modern Pokemon's still good though. Still got its parts.
They formed the very foundation of Pokemon as we see it even to this day. Hell, Gen 4 is probably the
I would entirely disagree with you. They haven't. Well, Gen 1 did, firstly, for being serious. But for actually being serious, no, it's not the foundation of what Pokemon is today. I would say Gen 6 is the start of what Pokemon is today. I would say Gen 3 was the start of, like that era of Pokemon. Gen 3 started the formula for that era of Pokemon. Gen 6 is what is, I would say, the foundation for modern Pokemon. But of course, you're not going to explore that at all, because video sucks.
The most culturally persistent Pokemon game thanks to characters like Cynthia, and Pokemon like Darkrai and Giratina, who have been
Can we get that again, please? Can we get that again, please? One more time?
Darkrai and Giratina.
One more time, please?
Pocket ranked since the day it launched.
Hang on.
But from a day. Hell, Gen 4 is Darkrai and Giratina,
Giratina, okay. Never heard that pronunciation before.
who have been terrorizing Pokemon Pocket Ranked since the day it launched. But from a creative direction and game design standpoint, Emerald remains the absolute pinnacle of mainline Pokemon gaming. And
I think that's an extremely hard ask when there is a very fatal flaw with the game's design in this physical special split. Are you going to reconcile that at all? Any point? Because, like, it's hard. Like, the reason when I say Gen 3 to 5 is like the peak of Pokemon, I agree with that. But when someone says Gen 3 is their favorite Pokemon game, I kind of look at them funny because I'm just like, I don't think a game with an extremely glaring fault like the physical special split can be the best Pokemon game in the series. What that essentially, a modern Pokemon fan can go back to Gen 4 and the games still play out the same way as they do in Gen 9, right? Abilities, physical special split, most move power levels are about what you expect. Some weird differences, of course, like with Leech Life and what have you. It mostly plays out the same. With Gen 3, you have to give someone a sheet of like what all the types are. It's like why saying SV is the best Pokemon game ever made. I don't think the best Pokemon game ever made can have an intended level order when it's open world. I love SV, but like there's no way I can look you in the eye and say it's the best Pokemon games ever made. I just can't do that. Impossible. You know? So like for you to not have this self-awareness is crazy.
I'm not just talking about things like it being able to run at 60 FPS.
No one cares about that.
There's a reason so many fan games or challenge runs are built off Emerald.
There's so many based off Gen 1, 2, and 4 as well. Are we going to acknowledge that? One of my favorite ROM hacks I played this year, gamers, is Pokemon, the Kanto expansion pack, which is basically like, as you expect, it's Kanto but expanded. It's actually fucking sick, and I would recommend that to anyone. Pokemon Yellow Cramorant Edition. There's also a fucking fantastic ROM hack because it's got Cramorant in it. I know I fucking love Cramorant. Yeah, so like, I don't know. I'd assume it's because it's easier to mod. Oh yeah, no, it's true, Miro. It is because it's simply easier to mod, but this guy's a dingus and is not going to mention that.
Or its Gen 3 counterpart Fire Red. It's the most speedrun game. It's the most popular Nuzlocke game. It's the foundation of so many ROM hacks and fan creations because of its stability and versatility in terms of assets, skills, and moves. And Gen 3, which is most obviously...
But what's the first thing they do whenever they mod this game? The first thing they do is they make the physical special split. Because even the ROM hackers know, hang on, that is a glaring fault with Gen 3 that we're gonna fix. Do you know what I mean? Every ROM hack worth its salt fixes this physical special split, by the way. Every ROM hack, because they have to. Terrible. Whose idea was that? And that's why they fixed it in the next game.
highlighted by Emerald, is the earliest place you can begin an individual Pokemon's journey. Toby the Sceptile joined me in Pearl.
Okay, can we fucking... I'm skipping ahead. Oh, hang on, gamers, finally! 18 minutes, gamers! 18 minutes! It took us 18 minutes before we saw any Pokemon... Good fucking grief. Let's go, gamers. Let's go. Here we go.
Best Remakes itself has some of the worst. This
Whoa. Hang on. Hold on. Let me hear that again. Hang on. Let's go back. Or I slander gamers. He might hate you. Hang on. Hold up, guys.
I would expect it to be a series staple going forward.
Oh, you still running the battle
right?
there?
No, but they removed it after Gen 4, and it doesn't even appear in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Because it was believed today's players wouldn't be committed enough to dedicate the time and effort to play the feature. You know, the feature that literally defined the post-game of Emerald, and therefore should be absolutely necessary for a remake to have. It's embarrassingly lazy, and naturally everyone hated it.
Game Freak is lazy! Firstly, Mr. gets paid £500 a month to sit on his ass and do fuck all research. Now, that statement is ridiculous. I'm never going to defend Masada for making that statement, but instead, you as the video essay guy could use that as an opportunity to have the level 2 conversation. When Masada says modern players aren't committed anymore, is that a commentary on modern day players as opposed to the players of the past? It could be. Maybe you could explore that. If you want to know what I mean when I say that, back when you were a kid, you did not have to... all you had was your Game Boy Advance SP and a copy of Emerald. There is literally nothing else you could have done with your day. There's probably one TV in your house your mom was probably using to watch fucking EastEnders, and you probably weren't allowed outside after 6 o'clock because the street lights were on. So you had literally nothing but to play at Pokemon Emerald. Modern day kids do not have that same resistance. They could literally, you have a device in your pocket. I'm going to pretend this dairy milk is my smartphone because it's charging across the room. You have a device in your pocket that can download almost instantly any game on planet Earth and a litany of things to bide your time, right? So could it be maybe that they said that? Like, could it be that they're lazy? Yeah, of course. I think that's an excuse. But could it be that literally, since games have to compete with literal Nintendo's probably biggest rival is phones now. So maybe could you maybe do a bit of research into why Master would even make that statement in the first place? Is the rise of smartphones and the rise of smartphones and the rise of like less post-game content of Pokemon seem to be correlated? Is there a causation? Could you explore that question maybe? Could you maybe do at least a little bit of anything? Anything at all? If you're asking me, I would say there's at least a little bit of a link behind it. The fact that in modern Pokemon games they tend to lean more into social features over single-player features indicates a change in design philosophy that could be harkened back to that same statement. In the Gen 6, you have the PSS. In Gen 7, you have the Festival Plaza. In Gen 8, you have the Wycom. In Gen 9, you have the Union Circle. They very clearly put time into modern Pokemon to make a lot of the fun what players make of it as opposed to content that they'll develop. Mainly because they're so strict on time that they can't, or maybe is that a design change with Nintendo as a whole? Most Nintendo games seem to have photo modes, co-op modes of any sort of thing, like with Miiverse as well. That was like their attempt at being more social. Maybe this was like a directive at Nintendo as a whole when they realized that making games like super hard or super content rich maybe isn't going to be as much of a use of dev time as possible. Is that a shitty design philosophy to go by? Yeah, you could make a compelling case as to why it's bad compared to the original. Social features define the fun on what you, the player, make of it. If you don't have enough friends, why the fuck would you ever use the Union Circle? If you didn't have any friends when you played the Blueberry Academy in DLC 2, you had an extremely hard time gathering Blueberry points to unlock bits of content. But if you did have friends, that was an amazing feature. You see what I mean? Free roam in Mario Kart World is another amazing example. The photo modes in every video game. This could be a very interesting conversation to have. One that you're not going to have, Harbo, because you're a fucking hack fraud who gets paid to sit on your ass instead of making interesting videos. And you guys wonder why I don't trust people with patrons. Unironically, chat, I don't trust people with patrons. Because when you get paid to do fuck all, like there's no fire in your belly. Literally, chat, why I'm so motivated to live stream every fucking time I get this chance to is because if I don't live stream, I've got to go to work the next day. And I have nothing to show for it. At least when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to be like, yeah, I put on a good show. You know what I mean? With patrons, you lose that. It's literally, do you know what it is? Patron is the gaming equivalent of a football player signing like a 300k a week contract, all right? They want 85 grand a week, but then they signed a new deal that was 300 grand a week. They're making triple the amount of money. Yeah, of course they're going to sit on their ass and put half the effort in. You just gave them triple their wages for the next 5 years. They just signed a new deal. They don't have the fire in their belly anymore. They already signed a thing. That's what they should do with Patreon as well. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, of course I'm not going to slander Patreon all the time. Sometimes it can be a very good way for content creators who make slow burn content to be able to have the income to be able to make the content that people want to see. Of course it is. But in cases like this, I'm just like, delete the Patreon, okay? You need that fire in your belly, son. You need that fire in your belly, son. That's what you need. That's what you need. Drop him and give me 20. Go back to the fucking Lidl, okay? Work your ass off. Work a proper shift. God damn. Exactly. There's also wrong to accuse devs of being lazy. There's not much of a burn this guy thinks he is. And again, if this was made by some shit like fucking boomer Pokemon fan, I wouldn't care. Again, sizable enough sub count, sizable enough Patreon. He should have the time and temerity to be able to make much more refined content than this. But he's not gonna. Because he fucking sucks dick. Which there's nothing wrong with, but I'm using it in a derogatory fashion, not in a literal fashion, okay? Shout out to all my gay people in chat, okay?
Decision. Especially that god-awful reasoning. Hell, you don't even get the gym leader rematches, completely stifling the post-game of those remakes and making them really weak entries. It's ironic that the generation responsible for the 2 best remakes itself has some of the worst.
The gen responsible for the 2 best remakes are responsible for the worst. No, Hot Gold Soul Silver? Are you saying Fire and Leaf Green was a better remake than Hot Gold Soul Silver? Yeah, this guy's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. He's yeah, chat, can we, yeah, okay, yeah.
This increasingly casual focused direction has helped to contribute to Pokemon becoming less interesting and less challenging.
Okay, you've got about, how long is that, chat? You've got about 12 minutes to, I think that's enough time. I think that's enough time. That's enough time for him to discuss the points, to talk about what makes modern Pokemon not tick as much as old Pokemon. I gave you chat, just remember, I gave you an interesting thesis on what you could analyze when it comes to modern Pokemon versus... I gave you an interesting point, chat. Is he going to talk about anything just as interesting as I did? Let's find out.
Therefore making it much more unremarkable. XP share went from being a...
Good, don't you fucking dare. Actually turn his TV off, chat. If he goes, XP share gives it to the party, removing... Chat, turn his TV off. Chat, turn his TV off. Turn his TV off. Turn his TV off right fucking now. There's no way. There is actually no fucking way we're going to get XP share slander in the year of our Lord 2025. There is actually no way, chat. Just to clarify, the year of our Lord 2025. You know when like we're all kind of in agreement that, yeah, for Gen 6, the XP share sucked. But Gen 7 onwards, they did a very, very good job of pacing it around the levels. Even I admit it. Yeah. For Gen 7, you could keep it on, you're fine. For Gen 8, you can keep it on, you're fine. For Gen 9, you can keep it on, you're fine. For Gen 6, it did suck. That's it. That's the correct take, chat. But he's going to say the thing, isn't he? I was against XP share for all before, but then it realized they made the amount of grinding. Yeah, exactly. Literally. The problem with Gen 6 is that they didn't account for it. It was very clearly not designed around this. We've already talked about this. We've already had this conversation, brother Harbo. Harbo, do your research next time. Do your research, brother.
A completely optional item helping to level up 1 extra Pokemon at a time, to being something on permanently, with your whole team getting a share, drastically speeding the game up with training wheels on, no matter how much a game might be trying to balance around it. I mean...
Okay. If you believe that Gen 6, 7, 8, and 9, which I will agree, Gen 6 did not account for it, you're right. Thank you so much, Saul.
Share hate is like the coin hate from Mario Kart, but worse.
Yeah. That's actually a really, really good comparison. Holy shit. Yeah, because when people shit on the coin in Mario Kart, it's like, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, like, you know when you meet someone saying, oh, the fucking blue shell that I hate, I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, he's like, oh, okay, no, I hate the blue shell thing. Blue shell sucks, yeah, right. They should fucking get rid of it. It's like, oh, yeah, of course, of course. No, actually, like, wait, you're not joking? Okay, turn his TV off. Oh, was it? I just wish it was optional like in Gen 8 and 9, but it's been good since 7. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, more options is good. They should always give you the option to turn it off. If they literally said, hey, but when you tried to turn it off, they gave you a pop-up saying, the game is balanced around this. Are you sure you wish to switch the XP share off? And you can say, yeah, still yes. It's fine. If you want to play around that, if you like, as an option, it should be there. But the game is very clearly designed around it. It clearly is. Even then, Gen 6 XP shares and the problem is the 2 free mega Pokemon they give you games early on in the game. Yeah, it's true. That definitely doesn't help. But I remember I played like a casual playthrough of Gen 6, not recently, like about 5 years ago. And yeah, keeping the XP share on the whole time literally over-leveled you. Like, it actually over-leveled you. When I played Gen 7, 8, and 9, I was not over-leveled at any point with the XP share on, doing all the trainer battles, etc. But with Gen 6, you are. Literally, if you play that game normally, with like a normal amount of team members, you will just be over-leveled naturally. Because the game wasn't designed around it. It just wasn't. And yeah, the Mega Star and Lucario just didn't help. It really didn't fucking help, did it? Persona fans complain the remake doesn't have XP share like Persona 5. But Pokemon fans still be stuck in the past for some goddamn reason. It's just old. It's just new bad. Thank God this stream is my only window into the Pokemon fan base. Why do they actively want the game to be less enjoyable? Mira, I just don't know. I actually don't know. It's actually so washed. Pokemon is like the biggest. I know people tend to do this with every game. Oh, game was my first, therefore it's the best. But like Pokemon, 100%. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if anyone who's in the Pokemon fan base versus the other fanvoices. Yeah, Pokemon is 100%. Unironically, Mira, I would rather having like seen the Mario Kart community and the Pokemon community. If you're telling me, Moresty, the worst golden era Pokemon is correct Pokemon fans, or the Mario Kart Wii stands, I'm ripping your arm off for the Mario Kart Wii stands. Like, because at least they're obnoxious, but I also like the game. You know what I mean? And then when they're like, Mario Kart sucks, I'm like, I guess you're kind of right. They don't have inside drift, I guess. But people are like, modern Pokemon sucks. You know they just haven't played the game. Like, you know for certain they haven't played the game. Doesn't even own a Switch, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the average Mario Kart Wii stand has probably at least played Mario Kart 8. And they know they don't know why it isn't as good, but like, they've played it and they're like, it's not for me, I'd rather play Mario Kart Wii. At least. But like, you can guarantee every modern Pokemon here has not played a modern Pokemon game. Ask me what they think of Scarlet Violet, they'll be like, what? Yeah.
I mean, they stopped giving your rival the Pokemon your starter is weak to. Another way of just making things too easy and simplified.
I do think that's a little annoying. I'll give him this. I do think it's a little annoying. A bit of a shame.
Removing the sense of challenge and adaptability to your gameplay. Sword and Shield in general is almost embarrassingly easy. You're never even slightly in danger of losing and you become overleveled too quickly.
Interesting how none of this footage is yours. Guys, I'm noticing. Guys, are you noticing anything? Chat, are you noticing anything? Interesting how none of this footage that you've credited.
Gameplay. Sword and Shield
FC playthroughs. Okay,
Shield
interesting.
in general is almost embarrassingly easy. You're never
Video game donkey. Interesting. Interesting.
even slightly in danger of losing and you become overleveled
FC playthroughs again. Okay, interesting. I'm noticing.
too quickly. And look,
Interesting. Interesting how none of the footage. No, don't get me wrong. I agree. I actually agree. I think Sword and Shield were just aggressively too easy. I think like Gen 6 and 8 were aggressively too easy. Obviously, I'm a grown man, so obviously I'm accounting for my grown man bias. I think Gen 7 and 9 were a nice bit of difficulty. Still easy, of course. Pokemon. But like I thought they were nice. But like you made that critique and you haven't played. I don't think you've played the game. I still think you have. I don't believe you when you say that critique. I still have a playthrough of Sword and Shield. I have it on my dead channel, but I still have it. But you've never played it. I'm noticing.
I get it. Pokemon can get grindy sometimes.
Yes.
But that's the point of any kind of training. No different to anything like sports or martial arts. While you were winning the Champions League, I was grinding Sceptile to level 100.
Why would you do that? Firstly, I don't think you have to replay a game for the sake of footage capturing. I don't think you've captured the footage for your own tier list. Yeah, but like, the difference is, you can be sure that I've played the game. Like, yeah, a lot of the footage of my Mario Kart Double Dash video wasn't mine. Like, I literally own a physical copy of the game. I can show you right now. Well, not right now, obviously, I'm not at home. I can show you. I can show you. I don't believe this guy has played Gen 8. I just don't believe you. Do you believe him? I don't believe him. I'm just saying. I don't believe him. I'm just noticing. I'm noticing.
It takes a lot to become a master. I mean, even most...
Also, just a point on grinding. What if grinding just isn't fun, though? There's it's literally in the... You're a video essay guy. Like you're a video essay guy, brother. Like, literally, look at the fucking word you're using. Look at the fucking word. You're a video essay guy. You write for a fucking living, broski. You write scripts and talk about them. Why do you think it's called grinding and not loving, for example? grinding is a negative term. It's a negatively loaded term. Is it? Because generally, no one fucking likes grinding. Yeah, some people do. Most people fucking don't, though. Most people don't. You don't understand? Most people don't. Hey, guess what? I'll be real with you, chat. Whenever I replay Gen 4, okay, when I get to when I get to the Pokemon League, right, I give my copy of Pokemon Platinum 30 rare candies to train all of my 6 Pokemon 5 levels higher. Because what the game expects you to do when you reach the Pokemon League is to go back and grind at least 5, 6 more levels. Then it'll be fair. Then it'll be a fair fight. I don't want to do that. That's boring. Actually fucking boring, okay? So I don't want to do it. It's boring. And I recommend everyone do that, okay? If you're playing Pokemon, Pokemon, specifically Ruby and Sapphire, I think it kind of fixed the curve somewhat in Emerald. From Winona to Titanizer, it goes from level 33 to level 42. If you're running a team of 4 and more, you will be under-leveled. Feel free to use some rare candies and get up to like level 38, 39 to catch up, okay? It's tips with Sir Moresty. Gen 2, if you're running a team of 4 or 5, you will be under-leveled by the time you get to the Elite 4. Feel free to use rare candies to get to, I would say, about level 40. Higher than level 40, the game comes a bit too easy. I would say 40. So your Pokemon will probably be like level 34 by the time you reach the champion or the Elite 4. They want you to grind to level 40, early 40s, right? I would say rare candy to level 40 and you should be fine, right? Pokemon Red and Blue is ironically the game with the biggest grind requirement, but like since the game is so fucking easy, I just recommended not rare candying. Yeah, from Erica to Koga, it goes from level 31 to like level 44 or some shit, I think. But you actually don't have to grind. The game is actually so dog shit easy. It's actually more fun if you don't grind, chat. This is from someone who's replayed Gen 1 way more than you could even... Wait, way more, guys. Wait, far too fucking much, okay. You don't have to grind from between Erica and Koga. Just fight a couple trainers just to make sure you're good. You're fine. The game's just too fucking easy, don't worry. This is obviously this is expertise I have, chat. Because guess what? I'm a fan who's played all the fucking games. Some more than others, obviously. I've played all the fucking games, okay? I don't know if this guy has. But yeah, no one wants the game to be too easy, but you have to have challenging convenience. Yeah, exactly. Most RPGs, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going by what chat's saying, most RPGs have an XP share system. Why can't Pokemon have it, huh? Yeah? Yeah, Mr. Patreon man?
Most Elite 4 teams barely even crack level 50. They're not especially long games unless you want them to be. So why make them even quicker? The main story and side content of Emerald takes 66 hours on average, with a completionist run increasing that to a massive 212 hours. Platinum, Black and White 2, X and Y are all around the same main story and side content ballpark time-wise. But once you hit Sun and Moon, that's 59 hours. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you know, the director's cuts of those games, even shorter than the original. And yes, it is considered one of the more difficult ones, but it's still a parade of cutscenes. The games just get shorter and shorter.
So do I have to point out why this fucking point is probably the worst point in this video? Do I have to do that? Do I have to? Surely you can figure that out for yourself, right? Do you guys? Can you guys? It's not almost as if you don't have to watch as many health bars go down. Firstly, right, your point would probably make more sense if it was, say, for example, old Pokemon games were like 100 hours and the new ones were like 15. Then your point would make sense, right? Because, yeah, that is a substantial jump. We've gone from 50 and a half to, what, Golden Era was, what, 68? Like, yeah, it's a jump a little lower, but, like, again, there's certain things that you probably had to do in those older games that you don't have to do now. Like, for example, grinding. You don't have to grind anymore. You have to grind in Platinum. Like, you could account at least a couple of hours to that, to grinding. You don't have to do that anymore. They take that from you. And then, of course, chat, I don't know if you noticed, but notice how before he would classify X and Y as like a newer Pokemon game. But for this example, conveniently, it's one of the good ones, right? Convenient. Okay, Apollo.
I think the older Pokemon fan excuse to defend grinding will come down to it gooder since it make bond with team more and more reward when I train and be able to take out hard out trainer.
Boring. There's a reason it's called grinding. There's a reason it's called grinding, because it sucks. Now, at least with modern Pokemon games, right? When they want you to level up, what will they do for you? They'll make you fight more trainers. Trainers tend to be much more interesting, much more diverse teams. But like literally, I'm not even joking, chat. If you play Platinum, right, you finish Victory Road, you have to go back into Victory Road and hope there's some trainers in there you didn't fight, and keep using the I think you can use the Versa Seeker in caves. I think, if I'm not mistaken. If you can't, guess what? You're fighting wild fucking whatevers are in there, like Gabites and shit. You're fighting those for ages, chat. One by one, over and over. Hey, guess what? Guess what? Your Pokemon team is like 33, 34 before you fight the Victory Elite Four in GSC. Hey, dipshit, go back to Victory Road and kill Rhyhorns and Gravelers and Golbats over and over and over. In modern Pokemon, you don't have to do that. What? Guarantee you a good chunk of these hours. Like, again, the hour differential isn't so huge that you can make this an actual point. And even if it was, a lot of that you could just... I just don't understand. I just don't get this. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So everyone finds like... And then on top of that, right, I think that the biggest thing is, right, you're using an average on a website instead of playing the game on your own. How much more interesting of a video would this be if you actually showed your playtime on Emerald versus your playtime on Sword and Shield, for example, normal playthrough of both, and then you compared and contrasted? How much fun would that have been? But no, using averages off of a website, which the numbers might not necessarily be as accurate as you possibly could. Again, chat, bearing in mind, chat, the advantage of Patreon is because you get a consistent income, you can spend more time than you probably would for like a normal YouTuber who has to like videos out there for the algorithm. So like spend more time focusing on the video. How much better would this have been if you fucking played the games and gave us like a bit more of a refined take on what you felt about those games as a whole? You know what I mean? Because the knowledge you're giving me, a lot of it you've either pulled from other clips. Because again, Matthew said, hey, Moresty, you use clips from other videos when you make your rankings. I do. I can prove to you my credentials in a fucking finger snap. You know, the next video, just to spite Matthew in particular, I am going to show my whatever video game I review, I'm going to show you my hours. I'm probably going to use borrowed footage because I don't like recording stuff. But hey, I'll show you my hours, okay? I'll show you my fucking accolades. I'll show you I got a purple heart, a bronze star. I've got a Medal of Honor for my service, okay? People salute me when I walk past the fucking street, all right? They know who I am. The street, I run the streets, okay? So I'm just like, I don't get what you mean. I just don't get what you mean. Like, this is just poorly researched. This is a lackluster point backed up by poor research. When ideally, because you're a fucking Patreon guy, you should be able to do the reverse. That's the sad bit. I'll use that and show how many more hours I've compared to you. Okay, you know what? You're on, Matthew. Next video I watch of yours, you better have your fucking hours. Any review you make, I want to see your hours, okay? And I bet that shit better not be photoshopped, okay? I've got you added on Switch. I'll fucking see your hours, okay? I'll see your hours, Matthew. I know who you are. I know where you live.
Story and side content ballpark original, and yes, get shorter and shorter. How is it that Emerald, a game packed onto a tiny processor, has significantly more content and a longer time to complete than a Switch game from 2022, which obviously locks a bunch of stuff behind DLC?
Firstly, you're doing length, therefore, which is a dogshit argument. Secondly, locks behind DLC? Loaded term? You know what that is. You're a video essay guy. You know what a loaded term is, right? Locks behind DLC? Or they made a game and they were like, hey, let's make some more features. Unless you're insinuating that they cut the content from the game in order to sell it to us later. Can you prove that? I don't believe they did. I mean, they could have. But can you prove that? I don't think you can. Shame. If you did, I'd be on your side. But the older games content was locked behind third versions. Yeah, but he's not going to talk about that then, Morgan. He's not going to talk about, how the older games were locked, the bonus content was locked behind a third version. Crazy.
And it's not even just about the length of time to beat, it's about the sense of exploration and the content along the way, immersing yourself in a world full of culture, history, and this buzz of adventure.
You can get easily all of that from Scarlet and Violet. Probably one of the most interesting lore bits in Scarlet and Violet was the sword, the treasures of ruin. Because guess what? I learned because I went to the history class in Mesogoza, and your teacher teaches you about these Pokemon. And then when you fucking explore the region and you find these Pokemon, you're like, what the fuck? Is this the Pokemon the teacher was talking about? And you can show it and you'll be like, what the fuck? I'm so jealous. And she teaches you more about them. I think that's quite some. I think that was interesting-ish. Hecharunt, what's it? The Loyal 3 and Ogerpon. You learn about this tiny village in Kitakami, like somewhere in Japan, I guess, where there's this hero, there's this local hero, or there's what's it? The Loyal 3 are the heroes that saved the town from the horrible ogre, and then you undo a myth, and then there's like a trio leader secretly infecting everyone with infected bits of mochi to take over the town. Yeah, you can get this shit from new Pokemon games, but you're not gonna talk about that, are you? You don't want to talk about that, gamers.
Scarlet and Violet, though, is a lifeless, sterile map with empty towns. Sword and Shield feels like one giant hallway with no incentive to travel off the beaten path and see what you might find. Like how
Can you say it with me, guys? Can you say it with me? The power of editing. Let's hear that again, chat. Notice what he did wrong, chat.
a map with empty towns.
Yeah.
Sword and Shield feels like one giant hallway with no incentive to travel off the beaten path and see what you might find.
He says while showing footage of the wild area. You know what you're literally doing in this footage? Oh no, sorry, not you, because you stole this footage. Stop. I'm being mean, sorry. This footage that you borrowed from another, that you credited from another creator. Do you know what this creator is doing? They're exploring. They're exploring the wild area to see what Pokemon they could find. You know that thing I did the thing that I actually liked about Sword and Shield? Yeah, I didn't like Sword and Shield. I'm not going to pretend I liked it. But the wild area was... You're not being too harsh, you really did. But no, he didn't play it. Because if he played it, he wouldn't have edited this clip. This is literally the most open area of the time. This was the most open area in the entire history of Pokemon. Obviously, now Pokemon is open world, so this seems like child's play in comparison. But at the time, the wild area is genuinely the best part about Sword and Shield. It's actually really fucking cool. Games still suck, though. But it was actually really fucking cool. He actually doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't played the game. Because if you're going to shit on Sword and Shield, you don't shit on the wild area. There's a lot. Bruv, Chairman Rose alone, you can fucking write an essay on how dog shit of a villain he is. He is one of the worst villains ever written in fiction. I'm not joking. He is horrible. What a terrible fucking villain of my Pokemon game. But the wild area and the raids, those are really cool.
Like how Pacific Town and the abandoned ship are entirely optional locations in Emerald.
So is the Lake of Outrage in the wild area. And I thought it was pretty cool how you could find an evolution there if you go there in the right times of day. And guess what? I explored that of my own accord because I thought, because I ended up unlocking the bike, the surfing extension on my bike, so I ended up exploring the different areas. Do you know what I mean? And I found the Lake of Outrage, and I found that little island where you can find an evolution, and that was pretty fucking cool. I actually really like that. But no, obviously it's not Emerald, therefore.
You can just completely miss them. The new regions are ugly and severely lacking detail, both design-wise and literal graphics-wise. The Switch games are just so bland and boring.
Can you give us any examples? Like, don't get me wrong, they're not lookers. I'm never going to defend the graphics. Can you give us some examples of what makes them lackluster? Could you bring up Chairman Rose? I'd arguably also mention Team Star battles. I thought the Team Star battles in SV were the battles, not the boss battles. The boss battles were quite neat with the powered up Revarvoom. The Team Star like grunt fights were boring, I'd say. Team Yell was fucking underwhelming as hell. Yeah, there's so many bland and boring bits you could call Swish or SV, but you're not going to point them out, are you? Because you've never played the games. You've legitimately never played the games. Which, what? I would say, why would you? You had to get this video out for the algorithm, but you didn't. You're a Patreon guy. Good lord.
There's nothing to do and nothing to care about.
There's plenty to do and care about, but you're not going to tell me because you've never played the game.
And, of course, worst of all is Nintendo banishing the Game Corner to the Shadow Realm because it apparently promotes gambling thanks to Peggy's draconian rating systems that don't understand the difference between going to Vegas and going all in on Skitty on the roulette wheel.
So you're gonna blame Pokemon for that when you literally just said it was Peggy? It was literally Peggy's fault. It was the rating board for I think it's in the EU. You literally, hang on. Did an AI, guys, the AI allegations on the table. I'm literally not even joking.
Shadow Realm because it apparently promotes gambling thanks to Peggy's draconian rating systems that don't.
You literally just admitted it was. This is one of the very few things that you objectively cannot shit on Game Freak for. They removed it because of Peggy and the ESRB. It was literally not their fault. It was literally. Also, yeah, let's not pretend gambling was fucking boring. Gambling in Gen 1, boring. Gambling in Gen 2, boring. Roulette was decently fun in Gen 3, I'll give you that. And Voltorb flipping HGSS was actually really fucking fun. Most of the gambling was shit. I'm bringing out the AI allegations. There's nothing we could do! Guys, he needs more support. Guys, if we hit $600 on the Patreon, guys, we gotta hit the goal for the pizza party.
Don't understand the difference between going to Vegas and going all in on Skitty on the roulette wheel. Despite a
Oh my god, is this the outro? It sounds like outro moment.
wealth of technical improvements in hardware, every Pokemon game
Graphics
since Emerald
bad,
has
guys.
looked and
Graphics
performed
bad.
worse in every way. Emerald works perfectly out of the box, even on my 20-year
So does fucking SV. Sorry, Sun and Moon. SV doesn't work out the box. He's up there. But so does Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
old GBA. No crashes, no frame drops, almost no loading times at all. The only thing is
physical special
the
split.
internal battery of the cartridge running dry, preventing certain timed events. But every game since Gen 3, major performance issues.
Every game since Gen 3? AI? Game is the. Hang on. I want to make. I didn't mishear that, did I?
But every game since Gen 3,
Gen 4? 5? Grandpa needs his meds. Guys, AI, £500 a month. That's $600 for you Americans, by the way. About $650. I mean, it's $700. Yeah. Even Diamond and Pearl's performance issues. I mean, Diamond and Pearl did have performance. Platinum didn't. Black and White didn't. Black, White 2 didn't. Even X and Y didn't. X and Y actually ran really nicely. Sun and Moon was. I don't think Sun and Moon are framed. The problem with Sun and Moon is that it's fucking slow as shit. Not the performance. You only start getting into performance territory with Swish and SV. The other games were fine. Bro is lying.
major performance issues. I mean, as much as I love Gen 4, the frame rate is stunted and awkward, and HP is tied to it, so good luck against a Blissey.
This might be the worst Pokemon video ever fucking made. Holy shit. Lily Orchard, come on down for your next challenger. Why do people use the... Guys, you know the Blissey meme's a joke, right? Hey, moron. You know the Blissey meme is a fucking joke, right? You know how many Blisseys you fight in base game Diamond and Pearl? None. You don't fight a single one, broski. And I think in Gen, if I'm not mistaken, actually no, I think what's her name? What's her fucking name? The one you help in Eternal Forest. I think if you meet her in the battleground, I think she has a Blissey. But you're talking about one optional battle in a post-game facility. Yeah, she might have a Blissey. One trainer? Cheryl, that's her name, thank you. Cheryl has a Blissey. Literally it. Crazy.
Gen 6 has ugly low-poly models despite it being on the 3DS, a console with far greater capabilities than its predecessors.
I always thought the models looked fine. I don't know, I always thought they looked alright to me. I want to shit on Gen X and Y. I'm not talking about the graphics. I'm talking about how fucking bullshit the difficulty was.
on the 3DS, a console with far greater capabilities
It was not your childhood, therefore. It was not your childhood, therefore.
than its predecessors.
There's an ace train of Victory to the Blissey. Oh, there is? Okay, my bad then. Like, again, that's what, one Blissey? Why do you make it? You made it seem like it's a Blissey epidemic. It's just one Blissey, bros. You can relax yourself.
Every Switch game has had disastrous performance at launch, with awful textures, pop-in, desolate landscapes chugging along because there's a whole 2 Pokemon in the distance.
Again, chat, notice how none of this footage is his. Notice how none of this footage is his.
Scarlet and Violet have the genius idea of rendering a whole planet of ocean. Not just the open world map, no, the entire globe. So at all times, no matter where you are, there's just a full ocean being rendered at any given moment. And to complete the...
Can we get a source on that? I actually didn't know that. Is there actually a source? Or did you just make that up? Did you make... Where's the source on that? I didn't actually... Did you know that? I didn't know they actually render the whole map every time. Is that... Can we get a source on that? Mr. Video Essayist, can we get a source? Okay, we're just making stuff up now. Okay. We're calling it the boundary breach. Yeah, why didn't he show it though? Show the sort. Like I don't know if you. I've never heard that one before. You guys might have, but like, it's good practice to show your sources, right? To show proof. Is it not? But hey, what would he know about making good videos, eh?
The incompetency, the whole damn thing has a lovely, lovely memory leak. So the longer you play, the more likely it is to crash. It literally punishes you for trying to complete the game. Somewhere along the way, Pokemon lost...
Yeah, Boundary Break showed it. Okay, so at least it's true, but like, you have to show it. You're literally a video essayist. What do they tell you in English class, dummy? Point, evidence, explanation. P method. I was literally taught the P method in year 11. You have the point, you show the evidence, explain the evidence. P. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Year 11 English, brother. Did you fail that?
Lost sight of the adventure, the exciting journey to become the best...
I was taught ice, were you? What's ice? I don't even know about ice. Yeah, I was taught P. But I was petal? What's petal? Oh my god. I was P. It was point, evidence, explanation. Those were the 3. Intro, claim, example. Huh. That makes sense. Intro, so like you state the point, you make the claim, and then you show the example. Point, evidence, terminology, analysis, link. Oh, I like that one better. That's actually a more refined version of P. Okay, so I like that one. That's good.
Trainer. Sure, Dewford Town has like 3 buildings, but it doesn't take being a kid to imagine the biggest scale of all these locations if they were real. Pokemon thrives on the feeling of adventure. You don't need to try and make things high definition with elaborate camera angles. This isn't Monster Hunter or Breath of the Wild, but by trying to emulate that kind of game visually, Game Freak has made it actually look and perform significantly worse than a 2005 game on the GBA.
Gamers. He actually made a decent point. Yes. I mean, your explanation was terrible, because I think that camera angles and like action moments can work in Pokemon. It's just generally they tend to done it quite poorly. But yeah, when the graphics are smaller, you have to use your imagination more, which can flesh out the details where there are none. Yes, I agree with you. Hold on. You've made one decent point in 23 minutes. Crazy.
The Zelda series was an easy thing to translate to over-the-shoulder action-adventure. But Pokemon isn't designed or built for that kind of perspective, or those attempts at mechanics. Emerald, and by extension the many hugely successful fan games borrowing from it, looks so good that it exposes how out of depth modern Game Freak is. They seem stuck in a mindset that 2D angled top-down games are outdated or not compelling. But look at a game like...
Good grief. Why did you make this video, bro? You should have consulted an expert like me. What a dog shit point. What a dog shit point. Anyone who's an older Pokemon fan will tell you that at the time, literally at the time, chat, everyone was clamoring for Pokemon to go 3D. Everyone. Literally, what's it? The 3DS was, I think the video essay was, the 3DS was out when I think Black White 2 were coming out, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on. I'll do a quick bit of research on that.
It's been 25 years, bro. Let it go.
Literally true. Oh yeah, look, 3DS release date was 2011, which meant that what? That's the same year Black and White 1 released. So yeah, Black and White 2 came out. I remember everyone was like, okay, when's Pokemon finally gonna go 3D? Come on. I remember they released what, Pokedex 3D as well. It's like a little like teaser app, I think, for like showing off the Gen 5 Pokedex in 3D as a bit of a test. Yeah, everyone, their mother was. So when you say shit like this, hang on.
Angled top-down games are outdated or not compelling. But
you miss the history of it all. At the time, take it from someone who grew up in the era. I remember, because obviously you didn't. You're a dipshit. Everyone at the time wanted Pokemon to go 3D. Because you had what? The Pokedex 3D app, which showed off what the Gen 5 Pokemon could look like in 3D. You had, a lot of people were loved Stadium and Battle Revolution and Coliseum and XD for showing us what 3D could look like. Like, at the time, there was a big push for 3D. A big push. In hindsight, I would have rather the Octopath Traveler art style, personally. But yeah, at the time, yeah, everyone wanted 3D. Everyone and their mother wanted 3D. And while I would certainly love another Pokemon game to try a 2D art style, it's just not going to happen, unfortunately, which is a shame. But you've come to the wrong. Yes, a monkey's paw. It was a monkey's paw moment. It really was, which is a shame. But you missed the history of it all, which is just sad, really. Sad, very sad.
But look at a game like Stardew Valley and the depth and success it promises in a graphical style very similar and very clearly inspired by Pokemon Emerald. That art style and
is it? Can we get a source on this? Brother, where's your... When I see this, I don't think Pokemon Emerald. Do you guys think... I've never looked at Stardew Valley and thought Pokemon Emerald. So if the creator can... If there's a tweet from the creator saying, oh yeah, my inspirations were actually the 16-bit, no, 32-bit era of video games, I'd be like, okay, fair. Literally 2D isometric angle, therefore... Is it pixel art, therefore? What? Is this 2D racism, chat? What the hack fraud of it? People pay this guy money. Guys, he gets $500 a month, and I only get I've got no support this stream, guys. I've got no support. Guys, we gotta hit the tip score.
similar and very clearly inspired by Pokemon Emerald. That art style and design philosophy isn't outdated, it's just that, a different art style. People didn't stop painting when photos came along. They're different art forms. Final Fantasy was able to change its art style and perspective, so was Zelda. But Pokemon becomes actively worse without that 2D angled top-down RPG foundation, because...
No, hang on, because why? Hang on.
They're trying too hard to make it something it's not meant to be.
No, Pokemon could be amazing in 3D. Game Freak are just cunts, and will not give the devs enough time to work. Look at a game as wonderful looking, at least at the time, as Pokemon Battle Revolution. Better yet, let me show you some footage. Let me show you some footage. When I was a kid, chat, and I was like, I want Pokemon to go 3D. This is literally the game I was picturing. Pokemon Battle Revolution. Can we just get like a battle? Can I just show you like a battle scene from this game? Yeah. Like, this is literally what I was imagining, chat. This shit. Mysterio. Yeah, I fucking lost to this guy so many fucking times. I fucking couldn't stand him. Look at this shit. I was like, oh my god, they look so cool in like 3D. Fucking hell. And you've got the, like, what's it, the anime guy as the announcer for the battle. I'm like, shit, let's go, man. This is what I'm imagining.
The stage is set and
then the curtain is up. The red corner makes the first attack.
It hit two Pokemon at once. That dealt some damage too. Solid hit, but this is not a favorable matchup.
Yeah, I played this so much. I remember the announcer. Like, this woman. Thunder detonates with a boom.
A beautiful attack.
Oh no, didn't kill. Thunder detonates with a boom.
A fierce blow. Kyogre barely holds on.
Kyogre barely holds on. Fucking listen. The situation is a bit of a stalemate. It's a mental tug of war as they anticipate each other's move.
A battle opens with some intense.
Oh, it's not on. Fuck, I remember. That's why you usually say the end of turn one, but not this time. But like, this is what I'm imagining, okay? And look, doesn't this look so... Hey, I'm like 14 years old, but this shit looks fucking sick, man. I want to play this shit, you know what I mean? Hit by psychic.
Hit by psychic.
It couldn't take it. It's down. Come on, give me the line.
It couldn't take it. It's down.
Come on, man. This looks so cool. Thunder detonates with a boom.
Thunder detonates with a boom.
He set the line. Yeah.
It's down
And out. Yeah. So when I think of Pokemon 3D, that's what I'm imagining. And hey, if Game Freak at the time, it could look like that. They unfortunately don't. That's the issue, Mr. Video Essay, man. Come the fuck on, bro. Oh, man.
The only real success Pokemon has had in this new direction is Legends Arceus, which took things in a new direction and made gameplay changes to accommodate for that, emphasizing that exploration and discovery as part of the story in this ancient world. It's far from perfect, but it is a step in the right direction. A step that then turned into a trip for the upcoming sequel Z to A, which just looks like a return to the typical modern Game Freak slop as they continue to
slop? Good lord. Good grief. I hope Pokemon Champions like Better Evolution. I hope so too. Give me an announcer. Give me a fucking announcer guy, man. Come on. He had some iconic line. Chat, announcer guy had some iconic fucking voice lines. Can I get... My favorite one was when you killed someone with Arceus using Judgment. That's not my favorite voice line. Hang on. Is there like a clip for it? Battle Rever... Hang on, I want to find it. Oh, Judgment. They literally have it. It auto-fills. Hang on. Can I just get a clip? Oh, here it is, yeah. Bang ass line, hang on. Judgment has been dealt! Come on, man. Give me like something like that. Yeah, Pokemon Champions, give me something like that. Come on.
cosplay as a small underdog studio, despite being the main developers of one of the biggest gaming franchises of all time. Pokemon Emerald has incredible color depth, fantastically designed sprites, simple but unique animations.
Here comes
timeless in a way every subsequent generation.
Hey, hang on, do you mean the animations where none of the Pokemon fucking move and they're all just still all the time? Hey, don't get me wrong. Listen, I like Gen 3's like fucking like style, but like don't lie to me. Literally, Torkoal uses flamethrower, doesn't even open his fucking mouth. Let's be real here, bro. Come on.
Cool, but unique animations. It's timeless in a way every subsequent generation could never be. It has a consistent design principle and gameplay mechanics that reward exploration and replayability. The battling is refined and smooth.
No, no physical special split. I'm gonna fucking die, chat. I'm actually gonna fucking die. I'm skipping ahead a little.
A huge amount of Pokemon and essentially removing the staple national dex. Sure, nearly 1,000 Pokemon is a lot to model, animate, and include, but they ended up with 700 after DLC anyway, and all those cuts clearly didn't help the graphics or performance as a trade-off, and it didn't even allow them to improve or perfect what is in the game.
Yeah, it did. Look at the models in SV versus SWSH. They very clearly put time and effort into them. Granted, I'm not gonna say they deserve like a world of praise. But yeah, like Seviper and like Magnemite are two examples of like if you put their SV model and their like SWSH or like X and Y models side by side, you'll see the difference. So they've very clearly been working on them. Like they're clearly improving. Like not by much, but by saying that, I think you show your hand that you're like this is just you call Pokemon slop. But what's this video essay, bro? What's this video essay? This video essay slop, broski. You've done like no research. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're an old man trying to keep up with the young folk by calling Pokemon shit. Hey, did you even acknowledge the other side of why people will be okay with Dexit? Because yeah, don't get me wrong, I think if they said right now, hey, we're reverting Dexit, every new Pokemon's going to be in every new Pokemon we ever know, I'd be like, okay, cool. But like, the reason I think it's fine is because by focusing on a smaller Pokedex, it gives the Pokemon that are in the game time to shine. I fucking love that about like Paldea, right? Like there's a genuine buzz in which Pokemon are going to make a return in every DLC pack. I love that. I'm going to be honest. I think it's cool. A bit of a pain point at first, sure, but I like there's a bit of genuine excitement over which Pokemon are getting featured. When you watch a trailer now, right, when you see a Pokemon, like, yes, that Pokemon is in now. Like, it's so much more exciting because, like, there's a smaller, more focused Pokedex. And hey, maybe you as a fan get to, like, enjoy a wider breadth of Pokemon that you never did before. You're talking to someone who thinks that Gen 5, having an entirely original Pokemon, is one of the best things the series ever did. Literally ever did. I want more of that. Because it's a feeling of not knowing what you're going to find. So if I can play a Pokemon game and like even the old Pokemon feel like new to me, that's a fucking amazing, man. That's actually amazing, bro. Like literally, if you told me, what do you think of Glameow, Moresty? I don't give a shit about Glameow. But when I saw one in PLA, I'm like, oh shit, Glameow's back. Yeah! See, I haven't seen Glameow for a while. Fucking the monkeys, the 3 elemental monkeys, no one gave a shit about them in Gen 5. Everyone thought they were some of the most uninspired Pokemon ever to exist. But the fact that they haven't been in a 3D Pokemon game for a while now, I don't think. Or maybe recent, is it Patrat? There's a couple of Pokemon, I think. But Furfrou is another one. Furfrou is a Pokemon that no one would have quite cared about, but it hasn't made an appearance since fucking Gen 6. You know what I mean? So people are like, yeah, fucking Furfrou's back, baby. People are getting excited about fucking Furfrou, bro. No one gives a shit about Furfrou. So that's what I mean. It gives those old Pokemon to shine, which is fantastic. And also the competitive scene as well. It varies up the competitive scene a lot. It's amazing. It's like, again, a normal video essay guy that would have taken the time that his patrons have generously given him to research a video could have maybe brought up these points, why they're good. Even if you disagreed with me, that's fine. But you're not even acknowledging the other side. Because guess what? You're a fucking Pokemon tourist, broski. Don't ever make another Pokemon video again unless you do your research, okay? Consult me, $100 an hour. Very cheap, very cheap.
So, you get less Pokemon and worse performance. It's an objectively weaker experience.
Gamers, he said objectively, therefore he must be correct.
Sorry, Money, you might have been with me since 2005 and beaten the Hoenn Elite Four 7 times, but you're not allowed in Galar because they needed the extra time and resources to make sure Wingull doesn't even flap its wings.
Yeah, fuck your Swellow, bitch. Fuck your Swellow. Use a new Pokemon, use Corviknight instead. And you know what? Hey, guess what? If it wasn't for Dexit, maybe I wouldn't even used Corviknight. But guess what? Corviknight's one of my new favorite Pokemon now. Fucking love Corviknight, bro. Hey, moron, how about you try something new instead of clinging on to your fucking dog shit childhood? Hey, moron, I've got Pokemon in my Pokemon home right now that are older than you. And guess what? They'll wait for their time to shine, okay? Because guess what? I love the old. I embrace the new, okay? Stick to your Doctor Who little gut. Don't ever come to my house again.
What a disaster. And, of course, the region based on the UK has to be the one trying to ban immigration.
Word, based! Based! Keep them out of my country! Keep people like you out of my country! Keep the gamers, vote for me! Keep the video essayists out of the Pokemon community! Close the borders!
Pokemon Emerald is the absolute, undisputed peak of the franchise alongside Gen 4. Which will probably get its own video one day, if this one does well. This video on...
You literally fucking have a Patreon. Why the fuck do you care if the algorithm... Hey, chat, if I made $1,000 a month on Patreon, I'd make whatever the fuck I want, broski. Fuck the algorithm. I'm getting $1,000 a month. Hey, guess what? Hey, chat, wake up. Time Splitters 2 video essays on the menu. Hey, chat, wake up. Abe's Odyssey retrospective on the menu. Hey, I'm not done yet, gamers. I'm not done yet. Crash Bandicoot. Full playthrough, all 4 games, baby. We're doing what I want, bitch. You guys pay me.
The whole Gen 3 to Gen 5 peak era. Go tell him your old pal Harbo sent you.
No, I'd rather not.
Emerald doesn't need character customization. It doesn't force you into an increasingly over-the-shoulder camera angle that exposes dreadful frame rates, empty landscapes, and boring gameplay. Sure.
Have you played the games? Hang on.
Pokemon dreadful...
Oh, once again, gamers! Hey, are you noticing, chat? Hang on, did he say character customization? Hang on, let's say that again.
Masashi's video on the whole Gen 3 to Gen 5 peak era. Go tell him your old pal Harbo sent you. Emerald doesn't need character customization.
One old fuck! Oh my god! Why are you so old? Why are you old? Hey, moron! You're the one who made the joke about what? Hang on. Hey, bear with me, hang on. Let me cook, right? This is the guy who made the joke saying, take it from the region in the UK to banning immigration. Hey, moron! Do you not want women and black people in your Pokemon game? Hey, guess what? Your favorite game didn't have black people in it. Hey, Mr. Close the Borders, yeah? Yeah? Hey, you don't like me customizing that I'm black? Hey, broski! Hey, wake up! up, racist! Okay, we got a world to save! Let's go!
It doesn't force you into an increasingly over-the-shoulder camera angle that exposes dreadful frame rates, empty landscapes, and boring gameplay.
Harbo, why do you hate black people, huh? Hey! I didn't get to be black in Gen 3, and I didn't get to be black in the Gen 6 remake of Gen 3. Hey! Guess what? By your sloppy research standards, you are a racist now!
Sure, Pokemon grew into a bigger brand after Emerald. Later games selling more copies and making more money. But there's a reason nobody really thinks about the mainline Pokemon games anymore. The TCG.
Whose mans is this? What are you talking about? What are you Oh, this guy's a moron! Holy shit! He's actually a moron! I was just using that word to slander before! It's true! Thank you so Thank you so much, Bacon Eater 666. But guys, we need more No, I'm joking. Thank you so much. This is what hang on, can we hear that again, chat? Hang on.
Nobody really thinks about the mainline Pokemon games anymore.
26 million copies a piece, broski. What are you actually talking about? What are you actually on about, broski? Are you okay? Are you actually okay? You literally in the same video showed the sales. People are still talking about Pokemon, man. Believe me, post PLZA trailer, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun to see Pokemon slander in my timeline again. Is there a Gen 1 term for this guy? I just call him fucking video essay slop. That's what I call this. It's just actually the word. Guys, I hate video essay slop, but video essay slop about my Scrunkly Bunkly series? Good fucking lord. Is this what it's like to get stabbed?
The first game to sell 1 million copies.
1 million copies, baby. Hey, SV's good. Guys, are you excited for the second playthrough next week? Over on Twitch and Sir Moresty, gamers. I'm gonna dual stream on that channel to test out dual streaming. We're doing it, baby. Pokemon SV, second playthrough. Fake Coco Gaming, baby!
But there's a reason nobody really thinks about the mainline Pokemon games anymore. The TCG, apps like Pokemon Go and Pokemon Pocket, the anime, and just the general
anime? Hang on! Moron! Do you mean Pokemon Horizon? Do you mean that same anime that people have been shitting on? Hang on. What are we talking about here? Is this guy for real? Is this guy actually for real? Horizon's disliked? I've seen, I actually don't know how disliked it is, but like the couple of people I've talked about from Horizons don't really like it. So I'm just like,
franchise.
I wouldn't say Horizons is better than is more known than the fucking main series game. That's for sure. That's an insane claim, anyway.
The main tentpoles of everything now, despite the games starting it all, and the games still contribute in each new Pokemon. The simple answer is that Emerald just got everything right. And again, I don't just mean the perfect music in all its French horn glory.
Soundtrack's not even. I was gonna say the soundtrack's not even that good, but like. When I say the soundtrack is no better than a normal Pokemon game, if that makes sense. Like, for me, I think the Pokemon soundtracks are, like, about as good as each other. You're telling me Emerald is, like, notably better? No. Like, I think all Pokemon games hover around the, like, 7.5 to 8.5 range for me. Which, in my scale, 7 is, like, great, and 8 is fantastic. 9 is, like, stellar, and then 10 is, like, fucking Sonic Mania, basically. It's hard to get a 10. On my scale, it's hard to get a 10. But, like, yeah, like all of them hover around 7.5 to 8.5. They're all just consistently great. This is just nostalgia, broski. Actually, just nostalgia. Like the only soundtrack I would say is actually bad is like BDSP because I think it's a lot of the mixing is terrible compared to the original EP. Literally, every other Pokemon game has a 7.5 to 8.5 soundtrack. What are you talking about, bros?
Emerald is eternal proof that you don't need to try and make Pokemon like a AAA game. You don't need to constantly introduce
and then was it triple? Guys, 2025, by the way, guys. AAA bashing in 2025. AAA! AAA! Is this... Okay, Jim Sterling, calm the fuck down. Well, this essay proves to me this guy is talking about what makes Pokemon great in general, and yet he's pretending those elements are unique to Emerald. Yeah, that's the issue. That's the entire issue with this video essay. Everything he's basically talked about is everything Pokemon does fantastically already. What you have to prove is that Emerald does this to a notable degree over the rest of the games. And hey, I think you could probably make a compelling case. Just not obviously not you.
And remove gimmicks like Ultra Evolutions or Dynamaxing.
Yeah, hang on.
Constantly introduce and remove gimmicks like Ultra Evolutions.
Fellas, is this bait? Gamers, have we been had? Chat, have we been had? Chat, we've been trolled. Chat, we've been trolled. Gamers, pack it up. Gamers, pack it up. We've been trolled. Rayquaza, Giratina, Ultra Evolution. Gamers, we've been trolled. Yeah, it's over. It's over, guys. This guy, you know the Patreon I showed you guys? It's fake. It's a fake Patreon. I lied. It's actually a bait.
Or Dynamaxing. Emerald came in like Double Battles, Battle Frontier. The rest is just Pokemon, but better and optimized.
He does exactly what I do, but better.
Sure, it would have been nice to have things like a day-night cycle and seasons, but the world still evolves anyway through interactions, gym leader rematches, and recurring NPCs like the TV reporter and cameraman that follow you around everywhere, challenging you and then interviewing you.
Do you want to talk about the recurring NPCs from other games and why they're different? Do you want to talk about the gym leader rematches on the other games? He's not going to do any of this. I'm sorry, chat. It seems like I've wasted your time. Let me jump ahead a little bit.
Like so many later games. I mean, hell, even Victory Road doesn't exist anymore.
So that's it after 20 years. So long, good luck.
I don't recall saying good luck.
Pokemon has a lot.
Don't get me wrong, I'm also a bit upset that Victory Road is gone. But like, if you told me, hey Moresty, do you want no Victory Road or Emerald's Victory Road? I'm taking no Victory Road. That Victory Road was shit. You did like 7 HMs in that place? Good God, it was fucking terrible, man. Actually terrible. Like, I'd say my favorite Victory Road was probably like Gen 5's Victory Road was fucking sick. I actually really like Gen 5's one. It was fun. Did Gen 6 have one? Mount Lanakila? Oh yeah, Gen 7's one was fucking amazing. Yeah, Mount Lanakila, that was great. Probably my favorite Victory Road actually. Yeah, I'd probably have to give it to like I think either Gen 5's one, specifically Black and White 1's one. I think Black and White 2's one's a bit iffy from what I remember. Gen 6 had one. I don't really remember. I don't remember Gen 6's one. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'd give it. Off the top of my head, I'd give it to Sun and Moon. Mount Lanakila was actually fucking great as a dungeon. As a dungeon, not only is it cool, but like it feels like a final step. Like you're literally climbing up the mountain to fight the first ever Elite Four. Like that's amazing. Like not only does it have like amazing vibes, but like as a dungeon, it's fucking fantastic. Actually, really cool. Has the badge gate at the start. Oh, it does. Yeah, I remember it does. Okay, you're right. I've asked this before, but Pokemon players understand the concepts of different games having different content. No. Pokemon fans are fucking stupid.
Long since lost the incredible features and diversity that make Emerald such a timeless and, dare I say, evergreen classic we will never see the likes of ever again.
We have. It's called Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, baby. Chat, second playthrough on Twitch and Sir Moresty. Make sure you're subscribed, baby. Dual streaming coming to Sir Moresty. Coming soon to a stream near you, gamers. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. Way!
Officially, at least.
We love
It's
Pokemon.
a game packed full of a real, genuine care for making good games and
gaming!
creating a hugely immersive adventure with so much depth. Nostalgia has nothing to do with it. It's just
Yeah? Nothing? Mr. fucking, hey, brother! If you deep throat it long enough, it'd come out your ass! Jesus Christ, me! Brother! This has been a generational performance! Body blue! It's blushing right now! Was it Mia Khalifa? She's been cooked! Sasha Grey doesn't know what the fuck she's just seen, because gamers, there's porn on YouTube, baby, and it's called It's Not Nostalgia. All old Pokemon was, in fact, better. Good grief.
Just a simple fact that there will never be another Pokemon game like Emerald ever again.
Yes, but because there was a better one gen later.
And that's sad, because it's a game that proves it's what Pokemon should be.
No, it's not. SV is what Pokemon should be. SV with a actual open world.
Yet Game Freak will never recapture that magic. And
Why, hey, moron! Hey, literally shows one of the cooler parts of SV. Hey, somebody who's played SV would, hey, what's like, if you want to slander, what's like some of the, I'd probably show like the intended level order. That fucking sucked. The fact that the terrestrialization gimmick wasn't utilized as good as the gym leaders, I'll probably show off that if I'm going to make it look bad. I'll probably show off like 11 C at launch, how buggy it was if I was going to show a bad clip. But you show the Starmobile battles, which is some of the coolest bits. Power editing games, power editing.
Swallowing that Rayquaza a hole.
Brother, you can, no gag reflex, baby. I do not believe you in the slightest when you say a big nostalgia diatribe at the start. It's not nostalgia. Your video should have no history lesson with you in the franchise. Bro. Woot Master. Is this another Woot Master classic? I can't wait to see the Woot Master essay comment, and which I love reading. I'm not even slandering. I love reading them, okay? Keep posting more. This video is like, feels like me trying to convince someone anti-grabbing Mario Kart doesn't add anything, and then the footage I show him is big blue. Literally! Hey! Thanks for the Mario Kart translation mirror. This has been an absolute disaster class of a video. First, I was actually quite excited. I'm like, hey, that's an insane claim. I hope you can back it up. Hey, you have a Patreon, which means that you're not beholden to a YouTube algorithm. You can take your time and refine a video. You're in a position that a lot of people would consider quite lucky, actually. Hey, guess what? For me, if I don't live stream, half my fucking income is gone, right? Because a lot of it is for your generous donations, super chats, and memberships, which I don't get unless I'm making shit. Which don't feel too sorry for me. I fucking love live streaming. But hey, my business model, you could say, is relying on me showing up every fucking day. You can just sit on your ass and do some research and call it a day. All right? I'm not saying yours is easier compared to mine or whatever. But you have the time to sit down and write and refine and refine and refine. And instead you came out with some nostalgia slop, brother. This is like the worst video I've watched in a long fucking time. Guys, all the suffering I've done, I need you guys to support. Attendance is low. I don't even know if I don't have a fucking view count up.
Capture that magic. And on that very...
And what did Matthew say? Hang on. It's almost as if nothing will recapture the magic of anything because nothing will ever be the same. And if it was, that'd be boring. Each wants Pokemon to be NSMB. Fucking facts.
very disappointing note. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.
You better thank me for watching. Jesus Christ. Guys,
Bye-bye.
you only have 142 people instead of 140 people. Guys, attendance is low. Guys, I'm not going to do a Mario Kart World stream next week if you guys don't step it up, okay? God, there's nothing I could do. Oh, good grief, lad. Good actual grief. Top 10 worst videos you've ever watched? Yeah. One thing. Guys, attendance is... Alright, leave the viewer count alone, okay? Leave the attendance to the teachers, alright? Gamers. I'll save my thoughts for when I calm down because I might use a slur or two, okay? Rather not, it's Pride Month. But let me get the Bravo 6 music, okay? And then we can read the comments and see all the gluck in the comments, baby. Let's go. Let's go, gamers. Let's go dark. Why, hang on. Why is it that, why does this keep happening, chat? Why does this keep happening, like, actually? Like, we don't even cover Pokemon that often. When we do, like, the video is dog shit. Hang on, let me turn the music up. I think the music's a bit too low now. Be like, why is it when we cover Pokemon, it's, like, actually, like, one of the worst takes we've ever seen on planet Earth? What is happening? I feel like the Mario Kart people are, like, consistently more annoying, but these guys have much lower lows. Good fucking lord, man. What terrible fucking video. Oh, atrocious, because Pokemon, you know, you're so right for that. Actually so right for that. Help me make more videos like this. No. Why would I ever do that? Why would I ever do that, broski? video was dog shit, man. Well, anyway, it feels like Pokemon jumped the shark when Billy Piper became the new Pikachu. I don't even know what that means. As kids, we all wanted the wide open 3D world. We were wrong. Gen 3 to 5 was peak. So somebody has to say it. Crazy. I'll move you out of the way, chat a bit. Crazy. Pokemon should have... Yeah, wow, revisionist history, gamers! Revisionist history, crazy! Old Pokemon's be like passion. Modern Pokemon's like to taste trends and do the bare minimum due to time crunches. Yeah, it's Game Freak for you. Pokemon for me was that peak was Black 2, White 2. Wow, crazy. Boring take. I thought the title was a Doctor Who allegory, but I'm surprised to see all the Pokemon fans here. It's nice. Sucks. Sucks. I don't respectfully disagree. I think Pokemon are very easy represented in full 3D. I just think Game Freak are really bad at it. Someone disagrees. True. I have to correct you on the ROM hack front. The main reason it's 90% of base Gen 3 is because GBA games are really easy to modify compared to later games. It's not just because the base games... Wow! How did Sick Void manage to have more research than you? Wow! Crazy! Yeah, really cool. Fucking hell, crazy. Yeah, it's a really hot take calling Omega Ruby and Brilliant Diamond Shot. Oh yeah, literally. Listen, brother, don't Sick Void, stop commenting. Stop commenting. He didn't research. £500 down the drain. £500 down the drain. Harbo goofs again. I'm sorry, the best remake. Yeah, literally. All the comments are just correcting while there. Although I think there's a lot of nostalgia speaking in this video, the difference between now and then is the games like Yellow, Emerald, and Platinum will greatly benefit from the games that preceded them. You effect to get a better version of what you played before, but they have the feedback to basically optimize everything. The era of gaming is long behind us when you now have DLC which expands on what's there instead of making a redux of the base game. I don't think it's a hot take to say I'm a much bigger fan of the DLC era than I am the fucking third game era. Because you tell me I have to buy and play the whole game again just to see what's new and changed. As a kid, it's great, but like when you're an adult, I'm like, I don't want to play the same game again. I want to play extra shit. Like as a kid, it's great. Like don't get me wrong, I play Diamond and Pearl, or play Pearl specifically, then I play Platinum again because I wanted to play the game again, right? I just love Pokemon. But like as an adult, with my adult sensibilities, I want to play new shit. I don't want to play the same shit again, but like, oh, spot the difference, spot the difference. I'm okay. I'm okay, thank you. I was kind of mean in chat throughout this, but at the very least, the guy say anything new. I think the TCG is more relevant than the mainline was new, but not a good point, but something at least. I think he said the older games, because they were smaller in scale, left more to the imagination, which was technically new, but it's something I said earlier in the stream, so I'm not counting it as something new. Literally, it was all just nostalgia. It was terrible. Actually, terrible video. Terrible. Pokemon had best story and feeling. Black 2 White 2 the best gameplay. The Peach franchise. Yeah, true. Honestly, fucking upvote. I don't agree, but upvote anyway. I wish the Battlefront tip became a staple. I mean, so did I, but it's a shame. What else have we got? Any other interesting comments? I see you branch out and talk about your passions. Yeah, keep those passions inside, brother. Keep those passions inside. Glad you went ahead with a Pokemon video. I hope it flops, so you stop making them. It seems like you missed the game. Hang on.
Stability. Gen 6 has ugly, low poly models, despite... So good luck against Stability.
What? Seems like you missed a game that would make a point. I'm not sure what he's referencing. I used to play RNLG hard one. Low-key, the old games feel slower than the new ones, even with all the cutscenes. Wow, it's almost as if when a lot of these oldies play the old Pokemon games, they use speed-ups and emulators to make the game feel faster. Wow, crazy how that works. I'm sorry, no, but FRG are okay, but they barely added anything new compared to the originals. Hell, they even took away features from RSC. I don't think they would have put hard to put secret base in Kanto, for example. HGS is a far superior game. Hey, Vitar, hey! Crazy! He skipped Gen 5, which stayed every game after Gen 3 had major performance issues, which was the kind of... Oh, okay, well, yeah, he's just a cunt then, isn't he? I can't say that I agree with you entirely of everything you're saying. Not that you don't have a solid point, but a lot of what you say reaches hyperbole. I feel your nostalgia glass are more evident than you say they are. I've never seen anyone express Emerald and Fire being the main base for ROM hiking because they're perfect in a very way, shape, or form. Rather than what I gather is because Gen 4 started the shift to the 3D environments. So map editing in Gen 3 is a lot more simple while having a space for a lot more Pokemon species than anyone could ever want in the memory. And while the Battle Frontiers are amazing and should never have been stripped from the series, they have their fair share of flaws too. So the game throwing whatever they can to stop your streak when you get far enough, especially straight up cheating, based on what I heard. That more than one story of a streak ending because of 3 successive quick claw activations that landed 3 Oko moves. Yeah, true, literally. Regardless, I do agree with the sentiment that Gen 3 to 5 is peak overall in the series. Gen 5 is my personal favorite overall, but personally consider it peak. But I don't shy away from admitting that I like Chaos aesthetically. Gen 6 was just the point where things started to definitely shift. And these days, I wonder what Pokemon could be like if I continue with the HD 2D style. Yeah, literally. Hey, Easy Bright, can you make the video, please? Can you make the video? Hey, brother, can you make the video, please? I hope you make the video. What an interesting and nuanced comment. I hope you made the video next time. Crazy. It's because when you don't focus on the graphics, you focus more on the story. It says the graphics leave 2D up to the imagination. Going 3D takes you out of the imagination. And then what you're looking at is just how lacking and bad the 3D is. Also the fact that they want to put out a new game every year, so they don't put out effort or quality. I mean, it's just Game Freak being stupid, really. Game Freak have a cash cow and they don't want to stop it. Which is sad. Thanks. This is a fantastic video. It's good to see you showing more of your passions. L Skibbity, the pair of you. The pair of you. I think this video is pretty good overall, but there's some element of being stuck in the past. We all made the ice cream cone rubbish jokes in the past because we were edgy and young, but revisiting the BW Pokedex is absolutely brilliant and definitely made for a more adult audience. It definitely fell short for kids and indirectly led to modern day design choices. Wow. Wow. Can you make the video next time, please? Juja? What a weird name. One of your arguments you made is a bit flawed. You said that Game Freak seems to be stuck in a 2D angled top style that's outdated or not compelling, but the very first 7th gen mainline game they released on Switch is exactly that. With Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. A beautiful game without any major graphical issues and a fantastic soundtrack. The main problem is where they got rid of abilities and used Pokemon Go for capturing Pokemon. And down to Pokemon with that perspective, not made by Game Freak, was released as well. Yeah, wow, didn't mention Pokemon Let's Go either, chat. Interesting. Interesting. I'm noticing games. You didn't mention Let's Go. Noticing. I'm noticing things. Go to bed, Minister Chicken. We're wrapping up soon anyway. We're wrapping up anyway. Fun fact, back when she was singer, Billy Piper did make a song for Pokemon in the first movie. Oh, really? Interesting. Thanks, Mr. G Freak 2250. Oh, man. Started on Gen 1 and my favorite is 5. You're glazing through too hard. The amount of water in the late game annoyed the shit out of me. True! Default Dan W! Default Dan W! Crazy! They obviously don't care about games anymore and don't represent a big share of the overall sales anymore. And even though they're a core aspect of all the tertiary merchandise, I think they realize a lot of their morons in their fan base who will reluctantly buy whatever slop they produce regardless. Hey, or maybe there's people, hang on, crazy chat. Maybe there's people that actually like the games. Reluctantly, gamers, me on my way to reluctantly buy PLZA. I'm so upset. Can you guys tell from my face how upset I am that I get to play PLZA? I'm so upset, guys. I'm literally skipping down the street to my local Argos, broski. I'm buying that with the greatest of glee. Oh, man. Crazy. Actually crazy. It's so insanely clear to me you haven't played Gen 5 for real. For real. It's not nostalgia. Here's a nostalgia story. Oh man, yeah. Some of the lesser liked comments are rightfully calling him out, which is good at least to see. Crazy, huh? Oh, yeah. So while I do agree the 3D games are even close to the 2D games, we can't just pass on what the 3D games did give us. Areas here in the Galar Gym Battle theme. Wow, it's almost as if the modern Pokemon games did some things right. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Either way, I think I've seen enough. I think I've seen enough, gamers. I love the new channel direction. No, I'm okay, thank you. I hope you listen. All I'm saying, I'll leave it there. Most of the top comments are of the obvious usual big YouTuber glaze, but there's some pushback down there, so that's good to see at the very least that some people aren't fucking they're not just eating up all this slop. Closing thoughts, Harbo. While I'm never one to see a YouTuber who feels like they've been pigeonholed into one type of content that wants to branch out and fails. It's one of those top 10 saddest moments of YouTube of all time. What I will say though is please leave Pokemon alone. You're obviously not qualified to talk about these games, so I hope you never make another Pokemon video again. And if you do, you can consult me. I'll make the video way better just by one conversation with me. 100 quid an hour, okay? Very cheap, very cheap. I'll do you a deal, okay? £97.50, okay? You can use this money I saved you to buy 7 Freddos in today's economy. But yeah, either way, terrible video. And if this is a indication of what your video essays are like normally, if I want a Doctor Who video essay, I will just go to JXE, thank you. And with that, gamers, I will leave it there. It's Thinking Week Thursday. What are you thinking about me?